Democrat divide. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. 2 weeks after a debate that shook up the presidential race, 11 lawmakers are publicly calling for President Biden to drop his bid for re-election. 10 House Democrats and 1 in the Senate. But many others are standing by him and turning attention to his predecessor.
President Trump not only had a bad debate in which he lied, but had a really horrific presidency. So at the end of the day, I continue to support Joe Biden.
Vermont Senator Maggie Hassan, just after a meeting between Senate Democrats and top Biden campaign advisors she calls very helpful. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal went into the meeting telling reporters
it is an existential threat to have Donald Trump in the White House again, and Joe Biden has to address and allay concerns so as to win this election.
Adding that he wanted data showing a path to victory. Well, he came out of the meeting saying some concerns had been addressed, but that others had deepened, and he needs more analytics on the path to success. Vice President Kamala Harris says the past few days have been a reminder
that running for president of the United States is never easy, nor should it be. But one thing we know about our president, Joe Biden, is that he is a fighter.
She is at a campaign event in North Carolina while the president attends NATO meetings in Washington. He'll also hold a news conference later today. The president had a meeting earlier with Ukraine's leader, vowing continued support from the U.S. But President Zelensky says to win the war with Russia, he needs the limits on using Western weapons to strike military targets inside Russia to be lifted. More than 1 million customers still without power in Texas after Hurricane Beryl. The storm's remnants causing more outages, flash flooding, and high water rescues in Vermont. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a plumber's to-do list that are harder than getting a small business insurance quote. Waking up for 5 a.m. plumbing disasters, finding out why water is pouring from the ceiling, replacing a pipe in a home from the 1800s, then dealing with invoices or your awkward apprentice or that really weird smell, and then there's breathing and eating and, of course, clogs. But the easiest thing on any small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you could save on the business insurance that's right for you. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Look out. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. It's a Thursday. Big day today with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls. Busy day today for Flounder here in the darkness of the cave. We got a whole bunch of stuff here. Flounder's been working his fingers off like crazy, getting stuff to. It's going to be a lot of politics today. I almost hate to. I like it because I'm excited about. Honestly, in fact, I was talking with Flounder about this earlier. The fact of the matter is, I don't know what's going on. I'm freaked out because every minute you think, well, did they change his mind?
You're waiting for that text that says Biden's gone or Biden's out.
It's something, and I keep thinking, I love it because they brought it on themselves. It's spectacularly a failure of epic proportions, and yet you still hear these idiots. You just heard the guy say, well, Donald Trump is an existential threat to America. Oh, my God. How many people truly believe you're better off today in any way than you were 4 years ago? Seriously, in any freaking way. In your security, your money, your take-home pay, how much you can buy for your money, your gas prices going to the store. Security. Tax money going to illegals all of a sudden show up in your neighborhood. Pick a topic and tell me what. Oh, they're going to say, well, he lowered drug prices. I'll be damned. After he raised them, you mean? Anyway, Pete Davis. I got to check this because if that's my daughter. Oh, it is. Hold on a second. I have an exciting kind of an update. Oh, it's not there yet. Okay, I've got a package update on a mailing thing for and Sarah's birthday's tomorrow, and I had a total brain fart. Oh my God, brain fart last night, and it's because I don't know why I'm getting so freaked out about getting stuff ready for the stupid show the next day. I mean, it's, like 10 o'clock at night. I'm making sure I've got to get all these birthdays and those history stuff because like that, and I'm thinking of Thursday, and I found out that the president had sent to her hadn't gotten there. Anyway, it's a long story.
You need a hobby.
I know. It's just like
girlfriend or something.
Well, you speak of that. I just realized in my head I'm having an affair. I'm having like little, every once in a while, I realized this, this afternoon, like 10 minutes ago, I said, oh my God, I'm having this like little thing in my head.
Actually, I just saw this on Twitter and I took a snapshot of it. You'll like it. I know Pete will. You are 100% replaceable at work. You are not replaceable at home. If you died tomorrow, your job would replace you in a week. Your family would never forget you. Home is your real life. Keep that in perspective.
What a nice thing. In fact, write that down and we'll do it again later. Flounder, we'll have maybe after the 5 o'clock hour sometime. We'll do good. Definitely worth doing again. Outstanding. Well, Pete Davis, what's new? And by the way, you got all kinds of politics stuff. We got all that. Also, some weird showbiz stuff. Oh, you're going to hear Dave Portnoy. Now, Flounder has edited out the vice.
Take a breath.
I know.
Jesus. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. I know.
No, God, thank God. Honestly, if I had been into if it had been in a cigarette.
I know.
Back in the 80s, if they said here's a cocaine cigarette, I said, I will try that. I was a heavy smoker. So anyway, thank God. But anyway, and you're going to hear. And I had no idea that Charles Payne was so funny. Did you have any idea about that? That big black business guy who's on the Fox. He's a funny son of a gun. And by the way, I was talking to Flounder about this because he got the soundbite from the Gutfeld show. Greg Gutfeld's a very funny guy. He has a very funny show at 10 o'clock.
They should give him a show or something.
Well, he should go on earlier. I mean, put him on at 9. I watched stuff till 11 o'clock at night.
He's better than all the rest of them.
He is better. He's way better. He's better than all. He's definitely better. I'm getting a little tired. I still like Jesse Waters for his guests and his topics, but I don't like him. And that girl before him drives me freaking nuts. The lesbian with oh God.
She's not a lesbian. I don't.
She's married to a girl.
The Ingram angle.
Yeah.
She's married to a woman.
Yeah,
she's majorly Catholic. She's not married to a girl.
She's got kids.
Yes, she's got adopted kids.
I believe her significant. She's single. She's not married. She got those kids on her own.
I know.
And I thought I read something about a female partner. There was a series. I popped up my phone of famous couples in broadcasting or something.
You better be right because she'll have you killed.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. I mean, I don't. I said I know she's single and has 2 kids, and I thought they linked her with another girl.
I don't know.
I'm almost positive I saw something. And again, I don't care. I mean, what I don't care. But anyway, also you'll hear Peppermint Patty, Jen Passac. Well, yeah, all kinds of stuff. But first, the other thing, what I'm trying to find it. I've got so much. Shelley Duvall passed away.
Yeah.
Shelley Duvall, the actress.
Olive oil.
In fact, and of course, The Shining is where she's probably known better than anything. But she did a few other things. And then she had some serious mental problems, and you have to feel bad for her, but maybe her pain's over if nothing else. But we'll talk about her career and what happened to her. She was her boyfriend, or living with a guy, her partner they call it now, talked about her and so forth. She was in Annie Hall. Remember her role in Annie Hall? Do you remember that one? I do. It was like a poet. He screams just like a little girl. She did whatever that line is from the famous poem, and that was her role when she was meeting Woody Allen before he went on stage. And then they tried to have sex together, I think, and she was, she said, I'm glad, he said, I remember, I think I remember this. She said, can we say this? No, we can't. I guess we can't. No, we can't. Anyway,
I don't know, but no.
Also, we'll have a story about a miracle baby. A good news story with some sad news around it, but a good news story about that. Also, a woman was in the ocean swimming, and suddenly she was in the ocean 50 miles away, treading water for her life. Anyway, we got all kinds of stuff like that.
I'm used to when you have a guest on or a caller asking them a question and then immediately answering the question for them. Well, I'm not quite used to you starting to ask me and Flounder how we're doing, and then immediately start changing the subject and going off on your own.
I know. I don't know. I'm losing. I'm totally losing it. I lost it last night about Sarah's birthday. I wait to hear this story. It's just the damnedest thing. Anyway, but I am having an affair in my head, and so I'm feeling really good about that. It's kind of like when Christine sings me home, calls me baby. You know, it just makes my life better, which is nice. 310-404-741-1230. 741-1230. Now, I never asked you, what's new in the mountains of Macon?
I went home last night.
And
I got me some bell peppers and some ground beef and some spices. Onion? And I took the Schumann Farms Vidalia onion, the best damn Vidalia onion I've ever eaten. It's as big as a baby's head.
Football. I mean, it's enormous.
Big as a baby's head.
Yeah.
And I only used half of it. It filled the skillet up. It's so large. And caramelized it, and it just melted like butter.
You can almost eat them like an apple. I mean,
you seriously could just bite into it like an apple. But I heated it up with the pepper and the ground beef and the spices.
Yeah,
I put it all on a bed of lettuce, and it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the ground beef thing with it sometime in the next couple of days because I got two big ones there. And Flounder, anything new in the den of darkness in there, sir?
All is well on this side of the glass.
All right, sir. And we do have 2 more tickets to give away. We'll do it. Let's do it in the 4 o'clock hour. You want to do that, or does it matter?
That works great.
Okay, let's in the 4 o'clock.
Are we giving away now? Is it for the British Grand Prix
the
in
Brickyard 400?
The Brickyard 400. Sunday, July 21st in Indianapolis at the Motor Speedway. So you got to get there. We're not giving you, if the money's right, I'll drive you up there. Anyway, Brickyard 400, July 21st. That's a Sunday in Indianapolis. And we'll do, again, at 4 o'clock hour sometime, we'll just give, that's a pair of tickets. We'll give those away, which is pretty cool. Again, and I got to go there. I covered the Indianapolis 500 once when I was on TV working for ABC, and they sent me there to do, I was actually in Chicago working for ABC for that, and I got to interview all the drivers. I went into the pits, and I remember being astounded when I saw, when they pulled one of the cars, and one of the pit crew guys went over to the car and with just his 2 bare hands pulled the entire hood off. I mean, it weighed about 4 pounds. I mean, it's just, those cars are just, and when they go by so fast, I mean, if you're standing there and if you're just head steady as a rock, I mean, you literally can't see them. And they say that the ground effects, which is the spoiler stuff on the sides, low part sides, Pete, no, you know about this with a Porsche, and the same with my hot rod has those kind of wide, used to be called running boards, but they're the sound, they're ground effects in the front and the back and so forth. And they say, and that keeps the car hugging to the road. And they say that if you had an upside down speedway for another, like a loop-de-loop thing, if it all of a sudden went up in the air and did a loop and then came back down again, those cars' ground effects are so good that it would never leave the road doing a loop-de-loop. Anyway, I mean, it was so, I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. It was very, very exciting. 3:13. I'm sorry I broke everything. The morning show, the 2 home wreckers have now come out, and I mean, isn't it amazing? Now, everybody, they came out and said stuff about the Biden future, and now all of a sudden, the whole world is on this story, and the big boy news conference, I'll tell you who's on trial, and now it used to be 5:30, now apparently they sent it at 6:30 tonight for the president crime family, and I'll tell you who's on trial for this thing, not only him, the media. They should make him cry. They should make him say, I'm sorry I was ever freaking born at the podium tonight, and drill him into the ground. The media's on trial. I can't wait. I've got my DVR running in case I'm late getting home because I don't want to miss it. The media's on trial tonight at 6:30. Give her Pete and Flounder. Hi. And Shannon and Neal Boortz at 4 o'clock too, by the way. Shannon at 5. Here we go.
Left-wing media's pushing counterfeit polls and bogus headlines, all while ignoring the stories that matter most. Trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the real truth without the media spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, and the voices you need most are all on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on Extra 106.3. Well, Sally, thank you for your time, but unfortunately, we can't offer you the position.
But why?
Well, we got the results of your background check, and we saw some red flags.
Like what?
Apparently, you were accused of dog-napping a chihuahua named Mr. Cha-Cha.
Mr. Cha-Cha was my soulmate.
At Horizon Background Screening, we find things that other companies don't. That's why companies that use us make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com.
Hey fans, summer is here and you know what that means. Exterior painting season. At Atlanta Painting Company, this summer, save 10% off of all exterior projects and get a free color consultation. We understand how valuable your home is, so protect your investment with our industry-leading warranty and unmatched customer service. Don't just take our word for it. We have over 900 Google reviews telling you why we're the painters you can trust. Ready to get started? Visit us online at atlantapaintingcompany.com to schedule your free home consultation. The Atlanta Painting Company, the painters you can trust.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection and peace of mind.
Marketing is everywhere. From the billboards on the highways to the notifications on your phone, we are constantly bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. What makes good marketing? Are you doing enough in your life personally and professionally to market yourself? You have questions, and the Marketing Madmen have answers. Tune in every Saturday, now at 4 p.m., right here on Extra 106.3 to get practical marketing advice from expert guests who are shaping and reshaping the business world. They say marketing is a madman's game. Join the Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. to find out why.
Here we go. Queen of Soul, baby. Aretha. Come on, Aretha. Start singing, baby. I don't know the song. I have no idea. I could not be a good disc jockey now because I don't know when she comes in to start singing. Maybe it's right here. Oh, damn it. That was it. That should have been
called Rock Steady.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, Aretha. Well, I keep thinking her doing that chef thing in the Diner Blues Brothers. You better be. I mean, what a great role. Aretha Franklin on this day 1 year ago today. A Michigan jury ruled that a document found in 2014 in Aretha Franklin's couch after she died was her valid will. It was a 5-year legal squabble with her children over who would get what because nobody said, they said she didn't have a will. Aretha Franklin died from pancreatic cancer in August 2018. Believed she had not prepared a will, roughly for about $6 million worth of real estate and cash and jewelry and gold and stuff like that. The heart of the dispute was the kids, and apparently the will was in her couch. And somebody found it, and it was legit, and so I don't know what it said, but that's why they divided it up legally. Birthday list includes Richie Sambora, 65. Now, it says here, this is Flounder's musical in the history list. It says here, former Bon Jovi songwriter, guitarist who's loved Heather Locklear, Denise Richards, and Orianthi. I don't know who that is. Orianthi? I don't know who that is. But I sure know who Heather Locklear and Denise Richards are. And in other news, I know this is 3:18. Come repeat and Flounder. All right, I'm good now. Oh, here we go. In 1798, the United States Marine Corps was permanently established by Congress. Now, hold on a minute. Any jarhead knows the real birth of the Marines was 1775, November 10th, in Tun Tavern. We were born in a bar. John Adams drafted the original resolution to raise 2 battalions of Marines in November 1775 for the Revolutionary War. And then once John Adams became president, he got to be the guy who signed the bill to permanently establish the Corps in 1798, and Semper Fi to all. That's when I had my heart attack, was on the Marine Corps birthday in 2013. And now we find out that Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen, actually ordered the United States Marine Corps Band, which is known as the President's Own. She ordered the Marine Corps Band to come up with and compose a Ruffles and Flourishes introduction for her when she shows up. And Flounder has this musical tribute by the Marine Corps Band. can't be real.
Is that Monty Python?
I mean, this can't be real. Oh, my God. Well, hell. Oh, my God, I got the note.
You did. You hit it.
Oh, my God. Now, that's real, Flounder, right? We didn't make this up, right?
Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
That's the worst.
I think I heard someone say earlier that I think they played it twice for her, and it was some stupid thing. I mean, but just, the enabler. And by the way, let's not forget it. We're going to start playing sound bites here. We talk about the big boy news conference tonight. Again, it's going to be, now I think it's 6:30. Honestly, I can't wait because the media is on trial. They should try to destroy him. They now have been outed. They've now been caught in the shameful display of the last 8 years of their behavior, hiding the truth, censoring what the American people are going to know, and being responsible entirely for what the public knew and how they would vote on Election Day in 2020. Yep. And so now they're responsible for writing the course, doing the right thing. And again, if Donald Trump had been, or any Republican had been going through this kind of ordeal, you know that the Jim Acosta-style reporters would be creaming him every day. They owe it to America to do the right thing tonight and make this scumbag president cry. Make him weep. Make him fall down and clutch his freaking chest and say, "I don't feel good, mommy." And haul him off of there to the freaking infirmary to rest up for a while or something. Honest to God, let's not forget, this man's a dirtbag. He's a child molester. He's a pervert. He's a liar and a traitor to America. He's an empty shirt being puppeted around by people who want to destroy our country, and he loves it, and he won't give up his power, and it's his freaking dirty wife who's responsible as anybody, more than anybody else, for keeping it going, too.
We all know the mainstream media is basically in the pocket of the DNC. So if they treat him with kid gloves, that means they're still on the payroll for the Bidens.
That's right.
If they go after him, that means the coup is completely underway, and he's going to be history.
And I can't wait to see whether they're going to pretend to be all real real tough guys now. Like, what's about time?
Roswell Tim's on the horn. He wants to talk about this in the press.
All right, and then we're going to hear the morning show, folks, and also Dave Portnoy's got a few choice words coming up. First, Roswell Tim, you're on the radio, man. What do you think?
Hey, Kimmer, talk about the measure of a man. The press has done everything they can do for 6 years to sink Donald Trump, and they've only been on Biden for 4 days, and look how he's already starting to fold.
That's right. I mean, but again, I think it's a good sign. I think they've been outed. They've been caught. They're still not taking responsibility for it, and they're still not saying, they're not apologizing, but at least obviously they realize, even the New York Times, I mean, the people you would never think are now starting to say, okay, I guess we got to put this on the record, because we all saw the news conference. I mean the debate. We all saw the debate, and everybody's known this for years. Anyway, Roswell Tim, I'll call us tomorrow and see what you think about his news conference tonight, because this is going to be great. 323, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Okay, the morning show host, the two home wreckers, Joe Scarborough and Mika, the two home wreckers were on their MSNBC show, Morning Joe, or whatever they call it, and found a little soundbite of how what they think about the George Clooney letter and editorial, and what's going to happen with the president.
Is this the Dave Portnoy?
No, the Morning Joe people first.
Oh, Morning Joe.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I should have given you the number.
I got it right here.
Okay, here we go. Number
I'll say one thing that we do have to underline here, just so viewers can follow what's going on behind the scenes, is the Biden campaign and many Democratic officials do believe that Barack Obama is quietly working behind the scenes to orchestrate this.
Now, does Mika, is she on this part at all?
No, she's not.
Okay, well, Mika also said, I think Barack Obama has a lot of influence, and there's a lot there. And they've started dancing around it. If there any more comes down the line, we'll grab that too. But she started dancing around. They both want to say, we know that Obama's behind this whole thing, but they're afraid to say it out loud. And again, and now the news came out, I'm telling you, this has been going on for a long time, despite what everybody thinks. Obama knew in advance of the bombshell letter. Now, the morning show, the two homewreckers believe that Obama was responsible for George Clooney writing that editorial.
Okay. The mere fact that they are mentioning Obama's name means Obama doesn't have quite the stronghold on the media that we all thought he did on this.
Well, I think they're trying to make everybody understand that this is how important it is, that it's going all the way to Obama. I think they're paying tribute to the fact that they're now saying, well, now we know he's the guy in charge.
But because most people aren't going to take that as a positive, that this guy's some Machiavelli behind the scenes here with the puppet string.
I agree. I'm saying they will. The Democrats are saying this guy's the boss. And by the way, even if it was the other way, that George Clooney was going to write okay, by the way, do we really think that all of a sudden some actor, that George Clooney says, you know what, I think I'll take the effort here to come out public and go to the New York Times, say, I'm just out of my own volition. No one told me to do anything. I just go ahead and write this letter if you guys don't mind, because I've been thinking about this and it's really important. Oh, my ass. Obama or somebody got him to do it because they needed the new stars to come out. Jon Favreau, all the people are jumping on board now. The guy from the Stifle Yourself, the family, Rob Reiner, all those guys. Anyway, and Mika did the same thing. So now they're all blaming Obama or saying he's responsible for it. And remember this, and we can't forget these little things too. Remember at the fundraiser that George Clooney was talking about when he raised $30 million, by the way, and wait to hear Portnoy talk about this in a second. At that fundraiser, remember the video at the end, which they did not want us to see because it was a long shot as the crowd was leaving. And you could see Barack Hussein Puttitat go up to President Scuzzbag, grab him by the elbow, turn him toward the exit, and then put his arm around his back, around his shoulder, leading him off into the darkness. I think just the sight of that, everybody knew, Obama was going to get him. They was going to take him away. Here, I got you. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. We can't forget stuff like that. And in fact, this whole issue now, Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, who's been in the news quite a bit off and on for the last couple of years, is really mocking George Clooney as all of a sudden you're a big star coming out of nowhere. Flounder, I believe this is cut number 2 of Portnoy, his take on this whole presidential thing with a letter.
George Clooney, what a hero this guy is, huh? Comes forward today. Now, this guy, Clooney, threw a fundraiser, raised tens of millions, co-chair for Biden 3 weeks ago. Today comes out, he's like, guess what? The guy you saw in the debate, that vegetable, that's Biden. He's a vegetable. He was a vegetable 3 weeks ago. Acting like he's doing some heroic thing like we can't have a vegetable run for president, not in this country. You just found out Biden was a vegetable 3 weeks ago? Where have you been for 2 years? Everyone knows he's a vegetable. The guy can't get on and off a stage without getting lost. He talks about dead people like he had lunch with them yesterday. He can't ride his bike without falling down. He can't get up and down Air Force One without taking a tumble. No, he's a vegetable. He's been a vegetable for 2 years. Democrats don't care. And also, side note, if I know he's a vegetable, if Miss Peaches knows he's a vegetable, if Clooney knows he's a vegetable, if the Obamas know he's a vegetable, if everyone in the world knows Joe Biden is a vegetable, why did he do that debate? Because the Democrats want to show the world that they have no choice but to whack him. You have the good-looking guy from California, Gavin Newsom, waiting. It's all dirty politics. But the Democrats were fine for the last year and a half, 2 years, putting a vegetable in her face. They're fine with doing a fundraiser 3 weeks ago for a vegetable. So let's just have Trump run versus a head of lettuce.
Trump on one side, head of lettuce on the other. He said he said, Portnoy, I wanted to spare Clooney's op-ed like, oh, my God, Biden's a vegetable. We can't. Democrats have known for 2 years. I mean, he went on and on and on. Let's see, having a free election of other candidates, Biden go with it. Now the Democratic Party's trying to say who comes next. It's all a game. They knew he was ahead of, I mean, holy smokes. I know. I'm glad. Honestly, I'm just glad. I think this is unbelievable. He could have gone down in history as the savior of the Democrat Party or the person who tried to turn around. I mean, he had it all in his hands. And that wife of his. Put this
on the other side. If the Republican Party had done this and put a vegetable up there for 2 years, the media would make sure that there would be no Republican president for a generation.
That's right. That's right. And they're still trying to do it now with this guy in charge. They're still, again, if they get control of the Congress and they keep control of the Senate, they're going to pass those House Resolution 1s, all those federal programs. Oh, I mean, they've told us what they're going to do. Hell, in fact, last night, where's my story on that bill last
night?
The
illegals will be allowed to vote legally if the Democrats win.
If I can only find it. I got it right here. I swear to God, I got it right here.
Fingertips right there.
Now I can't find it.
Just an inch or two
I swear
from
to God. Well, I remember because I did the story, so I remember this. The House last night voted to pass the bill which would require you of showing an ID to vote in a federal election. The bill would say only American citizens with an ID can vote in a federal election. That was all it was. 190, off the top of my head, 198 Democrats voted to allow illegal invaders to vote in federal elections. Let me say that again. 198 Democrats voted to let illegal invaders vote in federal elections. I mean, they just said it. They just proved it. They just said why they let all those people in. Because the Democrat leadership knew that while they were in charge, they better get them all in now, because in case they lose it in 4 years, they're going to block the border again. And they're calling Donald Trump the Nazi. He's the one who's going to be the dictator? Oh, my God. 341 already. I'm sorry, 331 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. I got so much more coming up, too. And don't forget Shannon Burke at 5 and Neal Boortz at 4 o'clock today on 106.3.
If you love news and talk, you have to connect with the biggest personalities in the South at thepodcastpark.com. It's more original Atlanta content from Atlanta's hometown talk crew. From legal news to sports and politics, and even archives of interviews from years past. Find the podcast that you love and subscribe everywhere you get podcasts.
It either is or it isn't. When it comes down to it, that's all that really matters when choosing a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. It's either certified by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained and certified technicians, or it isn't. It's either backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 7 years, or it isn't. It's absolute confidence in genuine Mercedes-Benz parts, or it isn't. Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz Dream Days sales event, now through July 31st. Come in today and take advantage of finance rates as low as 2.99% APR special financing on select models. Because in the end, it's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned, or it isn't. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Not all offers apply to all vehicles, and special financing available to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Services through July 31st, 2024. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call 770-390-0700 for details.
Get ready. Diamonds Direct will forever change the way you shop for jewelry. With over 80 years experience in direct sourcing, Diamonds Direct is finally opening in Atlanta. Customers across the Southeast know Diamonds Direct for their unbeatable selection and prices, but return again and again because of their unparalleled customer experience. The experts at Diamonds Direct are your advocate in the dizzying world of diamonds, ensuring you are nothing shy of confident in your purchase. How do they do it? With the best selection, the best quality, and the best price. In fact, Diamonds Direct guarantees they won't just meet any local price, they'll beat it. So if you can dream it, Diamonds Direct can deliver it. Build your own engagement ring, tap into their custom design studio, or choose from hundreds of ready-to-wear styles. No other jeweler can maximize your budget like Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct, coming soon to Buckhead and ready to amaze Atlanta with the best selection, the best quality, the best price, and the best people guaranteed.
Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. The Safe House crew hopes everyone is enjoying their vacation this summer. We know the criminals are watching and waiting for you to leave. leave so they can bust in and steal your stuff. But hey, there is a solution. Come purchase a quality safe from Atlanta Safe House. And with summer rebates and specials, you can save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a quality safe. And remember, don't let an illegal or crackhead deliver or move your safe. They could very well know your combination. So drop by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Hey guys, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly. Have you heard the buzz about Seeds of Excellence Christian Academy?
Thanks, Tara. I'm Dr. Eugene Wallace, CEO and head of schools of Seeds of Excellence Christian Academy in Austell, Georgia. We are Christian, scholarly, affordable, and relational. Seeds of Excellence is committed to nurturing the whole child, spirit, mind, and body. From daily Bible classes to weekly chapel services, advanced technology, world languages, fine arts, athletics, national competitions, and a dedicated team of great professionals, our scholars from 6 weeks to 8th grade receive quality care through a premier education grounded in Christian worldviews. By blending the Abeka curriculum with Georgia state standards, we offer a comprehensive and faith-based learning environment that equips our scholars for success. We are thrilled to partner with Our Town Monthly. We want everyone in the community to read all about us.
You're right, Doc. Seeds of Excellence is a perfect fit. Friends, explore SOECA.net and experience the difference today.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
336, Kimmer, Peyton, Flounder. How you doing? Bring it home now. 2014, producer, drummer Tommy Ramone. Thomas Erdely from the influential punk rock band The Ramones passed away on this day 10 years ago, age 65. Had unsuccessful treatment for bile duct cancer. Tommy Ramone was the last surviving original member of the Ramones before he died. Erdely was also an assistant engineer for the production of the Jimi Hendrix album Band of Gypsies. Tommy Ramone on this day. It's 3:37, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Our birthday list includes that naughty little Debbie Dunning, Heidi, the tool-time girl on Home Improvement. Debbie Dunning is 58 years old today. And our history list includes, on this day, 1987, meet Majej Gasper. Born on this day and proclaimed to be the 5 billionth person on Earth. So said the United Nations Secretary General. He was born in Croatia, and that's why the United Nations declared this date World Population Day. This guy, Majej Gasper, still lives in Croatia. Says if it weren't for his parents, he wouldn't be able to live anywhere because there's nothing to do and no jobs or no nothing. And he still gets calls from the media every day on his birthday. He's 37 years old, and he was declared the 5 billionth person on Earth. And they just, and the reason, I think, as I recall, the reason was I think the Secretary General happened to be visiting Croatia at the time, and he was, I guess, near a hospital, and the baby was born. So, oh, that's the one. They had to pick somebody to be the so-called 5 billion. They had a 4 billionth person. They have a 5 billionth person. I'm sure there will be a 6 billionth person. And again, what a tribute. I mean, how'd you like to be known as? I'm the 5 billionth person born on the planet.
If I'm him and they come to interview, I say, please, everyone, I'm having a rough time. If everyone would just send me $1.
Yeah, lousy $1.
And he gets like a third of the people to do it.
Right. The celebration of I'm the guy. I'm the human 5 billionth. Come on.
$1.
A lousy dollar bill. Oh, by the way, I thought of yesterday, I don't know whether it was during sports or not, it was during something. We were talking about the Indy 500, and since we were just recently talking Indy 500 a few minutes ago, I was telling you that when I was in Indianapolis for the winter of 19, whatever it was, in the Marines for a few months, a couple of months. Anyway, and a guy I knew there was one of the announcers for the Indianapolis 500, very well-known sports announcer guy, and I wondered whether, and I couldn't remember his name. I remembered his name last night, Paul Page. Kind of a squat, chunky guy, blonde hair, glasses.
Never heard of him.
Paul Page is his name, and I'll bet you. Well, you're not probably old enough, but back in the '60s. My God, and he was a big broadcaster. He did all the Indy 500 races for years on ESPN or ABC, whatever, for years in the '60s and early '70s. I remember seeing him many times.
I'm going to write his name down and order his bio from Amazon.com.
Paul Page. I have no idea if he's dead or alive. I don't know. 339, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Flounder, let's do Jake Tapper's interview here. Tapper on CNN was talking with about the Biden campaign claim that that the President of the United States, President Dirtbag, has better stamina than George Clooney. When George Clooney had that op-ed, he was saying that, Biden, he can't do anything. He doesn't have any stamina, stuff like that. Well, Jake Tapper was talking with a reporter, a correspondent, Kayla Tashi, I don't know what her name is. And she was talking about the Biden campaign, saying it was Clooney who lacked stamina. Anyway, here's how part of that conversation went.
In response to those comments from George Clooney, Jake, a campaign official who attended that Los Angeles fundraiser tells me that George Clooney left 3 hours before the president. So clearly, the gloves are off. Jake?
But what does that mean that George Clooney left 3 hours? What's the point?
The point of that is to suggest that Biden's stamina is better than Clooney's, and Clooney didn't have, eyes on the entire event. That's the response to the Clooney op-ed.
Okay.
He just starts chuckling about me. Are you kidding? I mean, can you imagine the balls on these people in the Biden campaign? The same reason they don't even crack a smile when they say, well, Donald Trump obviously is a what do they call it? Existential threat to America, and that he'll be a dictator and a Nazi on day one. I mean, my God. And they say things like that they really think. Do they really think that Joe Dirtbag has more stamina than anybody, let alone George Clooney, who's probably at least 10 or 15 years, 20 years younger probably, or 30 years younger. I think Clooney's like 55 or something. Anyway, I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous. So the very idea that they would even say something like that. I mean, this is how they won the last election, because the media kept reporting stuff like that, and people said, oh, well, I guess he's fine. Anyway, by the way, Donald Trump has called out George Clooney for turning on Biden. He wrote his little Truth Social thing, and he said, so now fake movie actor George Clooney, who never came close to making a great movie, is getting into the act. He's turned on Crooked Joe like the rats they both are. What does Clooney know about anything? He uses the Democrat talking point that Biden, the worst president in history of the United States, has saved our democracy. Crooked Joe didn't save our democracy. He brought our democracy into his knees. Clooney should get out of politics and go back to television. Movies never really worked for him. Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
he's had a few good movies.
He's had a couple of good movies.
Three Kings was a good movie. I like that movie.
The three Las Vegas robbery movies. My God.
Yeah, never
Oceans 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Oceans.
They were all great. I mean, they were all great movies. Not the one with the girls. Ocean's 8 or something was a girl movie. But he did all those. And also the one where he played an assassin in foreign countries, and then he turned on him.
Syriana?
No. That was when he was in the military guard.
Or American
I can't remember what it was. Yeah, something like that.
Americana. I forget.
Not the American, maybe, something like that. And he played. I think it might be the American. And the girlfriend he hired to be his girlfriend. Oh my God, she was perfect, natural, gorgeous, sweet. Oh Lord, a little French girl, or Italian maybe.
But by the way, we may have our answer to who starts for the National League in the All-Star game.
Oh really?
Paul Skeens right now is no-hitting the Brewers through 6 innings with 11 strikeouts.
They got
if he no-hits them, he's probably going to be the starter.
If he no-hits him, he's got to get the start. And if he gets a complete game no-hitter, I mean, my God. I wonder if anybody's reached first base on an error or a walk. I mean, it might be a perfect
what's
game.
Funny? Yeah, they showed a picture of the great broadcaster Bob Uecker.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
standing next to Paul Skeens. And he made Uecker look like an Oompa Loompa from Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, Skeens, was he 6'6" or something, about 240
something
or whatever?
Like that. Yeah.
And his hot girlfriend, is that not Riley, the other one? Olivia Dunn? Oh, God.
Livy Dunn?
What? I mean, they're birthday cake toppers. I mean, seriously, look at the.
Yeah, but she only comes up to his hip.
I know. How much fun could that be? No, that's not what I meant.
I mean, he's spinning her like a dish.
Well,
you know, those guys put the dish on top of the pole.
I can't think about it. I'm just not allowed to think. I just can't think about that sort of thing. I got a job to do. I may not be able to be asleep tonight. I know that. And by the way, if you, I don't normally watch the Greg Gutfeld show. It's on at 10 o'clock, and I'm usually getting ready and doing my reading stuff and then going to bed. But last night I was watching a little bit. He's a very funny guy. I wish his show was on earlier. I think he'd be. I mean, he still beats the other late night hosts. I think
he's the king of late night.
He's the king of late. He's a very funny guy. And he had Charles Payne. Flounder, if you would. Charles Payne is that guy who does all the business stuff. I think he's more on the business channel. Once in a while he shows up on the 5 or something like that. And Charles Payne was talking about President Dirtbag, and one of the funniest segments I've ever heard. Flounder, if you will, sir.
This Sunday he was at the black church. Every time he's around black people, it looks like he wants to call the police.
He used to.
He used to bring them. He used to bring a whole gang of paddy wagons, round them all up. We'll figure out the charges later. The face. Did you see him at the church?
Yes.
He was scared as hell. He said I was raised in a black church, and the guy had to show him how to give the offering. Like, what? We're usually taking money, not giving it. I'm a Biden, damn it. So, this whole thing has been so amazing to watch.
It really is. I was.
Oops, it is. Anyway, Charles Payne on with Greg Gutfeld. Gutfeld's opening monologue joke stuff is really very funny stuff. He's a very amusing fellow. 345, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Coming up, Peppermint Patty gets in on who should be the next president, who should be running, and what's wrong with America. And now they're coming after Trump. I got a couple of stories showing now they're pretending that Donald Trump is the one who's senile. I mean, these Democrats will do anything, and the media is still in on it for that part. 346, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder at 106.3.
Atlanta radio legends collide on Extra 106.3. The legend Neal Boortz is live every week with Atlanta legend The Kimmer. Because when you get these two guys together, who knows where we'll end up?
I am shocked. Well, not that shocked.
The Kimmer is live on your drive home every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6. And now Neal Boortz joins this show every week. And if you miss it, catch up anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Nellie Miles with the GBI. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
When storms wreak havoc on your home, who do you trust to make things right? Look no further than Southern Exteriors. Hey, it's Tug. With over 25 years experience, they understand the urgency of storm damage. They offer emergency response and free estimates to assess the situation and get your home back on track. Southern Exteriors is committed to your home's long-term well-being. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, windows, or doors, they have the expertise to handle it all. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, restoring peace of mind one storm at a time.
Millions
of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hey, Tommy, what's going on?
Hey, pal.
You know, we should get a montage of all those stupid Biden things. No joke, pal. I mean, tough guy. He looks like an erector set made out of the pipe cleaners or something. God.
By the way, your boy Paul Page is 79 years old.
Oh, my Lord. I promise you, well, you may not be old enough, but again, in the like 1970-ish era, in the 70s, he was doing all the Indy 500 races and all the, a lot of, I think he worked for the NASCAR channels and all that good stuff. Anyway, he was a good guy. I knew him a little bit there for a few months. It's Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing? 351. Flounder's Funny coming up here in a minute. John Entwistle, on this day in 2002, had his funeral at the church in Cotswolds. 200 mourners filled the 12th century church at St. Edward in Stow-on-the-Wold. They got the damnedest freaking names. John Entwistle was found dead in his Vegas hotel room June 27th, and it was on this day in 2002. They had the funeral. It was at a church in the Cotswolds, and then it was the 12th century church of St. Edward in Stow-on-the-Wold, W-O-L-D. What the hell were all they? Okay. They don't know how to make words over there.
That's their word. The Wold is a little river.
Well, then call it the Little River Church. The Little River Church. My God, man. St. Anthony's on the wall of the thing with these St.
It's hill country west of London. Jeez. It's kind of like, Appalachia or something.
352. It's a matter with those people. Our birthday list includes, they can't speak English over there. Our birthday list includes that naughty little Sela Ward. Sela Ward? Sela Ward. 68 years old.
Good old Mississippi girl.
She was in Once and Again, CSI New York, House MD, all kinds of things.
Alabama cheerleader.
Beautiful lady. Very handsome woman. Woman. And our history list includes a couple of quick things here, military style. 1955, the U.S. Air Force Academy was dedicated in Colorado at the Lowry Air Force Base, U.S. Air Force Academy in 55. And in 1972, the Tet Offensive was February 1968. But there was another one, the North Vietnamese called it the Easter Offensive on this day in 1972. The battle for An Loc lasted 95 days, and it was a major victory for the South Vietnamese with American air power. The Battle of An Loc left 25,000 South Vietnamese civilians dead and 1 million refugees. In 1972. Shwaka Makalaka, 353. Coming up, Flounder, let's do a little Cowabunga funny here. You want? And then we got more political stuff, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. Also, now they're coming after Trump, claiming he's senile. But first, speaking of happiness and goodness, little Flounder's funnies here.
It's crazy how free we are in America. I know everyone says that, there's no freedom anymore, blah, blah. No, like, if I want to be a lady tomorrow, I can. That's how good we have it. I can just be a lady tomorrow, and none of you will say I'll be at the coffee shop, and your kids will be looking at me, and you'll be like, don't stare. Not one person's going to go, what's with the 6'4" bearded bitch? Not one person. That's how we just do anything. That's how good it is to be us. My dad couldn't have done that. My dad couldn't have just worn a dress to the factory. They would have murdered him. They would have murdered him. They'd have been arrested. The judge would have been some old white bigot. He'd be like, well, they had to kill him. He's wearing a dress. Not guilty. Get out of here, boys. Right? That's... Not now. Not in the good time. Now, if I wear a dress to work and you don't call me Christine, you're fired. What a time to be alive!
That's a great point. If I wear a dress and you don't call me Christine, you're fired. My God, that pretty much says that. And there's your last 4 years in America. This would not even be a theme back in any other time in this country's history.
We don't care if you want to put a dress and be a lady the next day, but we do care if you make us play along with your stupid game.
Right, yeah.
You're mentally ill, but the rest of us aren't.
Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable. 355. Back a little bit on politics. Let's do Carmela's side piece about talking with Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary girl called Peppermint Patty. And she now has an idea if they get rid of President Crime Family. She has an idea of what should happen next. Flounder, if you will, sir.
Kamala Harris, the vice president, I'm going to call her vice president now because I keep calling her. She is in my view, an undervalued talent. She's a very fierce communicator. She's very strong, especially on one of the core issues that made the election maybe won or lost on, which is abortion rights. And they said this is why I think what she did did a couple of interviews after the debate. I was sitting on the set with a bunch of other NBC anchors, and everybody was like, that was great. It's like, yeah. That's what she's doing out in the country, and nobody is really tracking it. It's just, that's who she is. But there is a character out there. It's almost like public opinion hasn't caught up with what she is doing out there. And also, we live in a country that is sexist and racist.
There we go.
So, there is that. Not everybody at all, but there is a level of it that does impact elections.
There we go.
That's what they think about us.
We live in a country that is sexist and racist. And the public opinion hasn't caught up with what we're doing, what she's doing out there. Yes, we have. She's a disgrace. She's a fraud.
She got elected, but we're still a sexist and racist country, even though she got elected.
Well, she got elected. Plus, we've had a black president elected by white people twice. The white people in America elected a black guy twice. So kiss my ass, Jen Psaki. I mean, I'm sorry, I should kiss my foot. I'll start saying kiss my foot. That was wrong. And babe got kids in the car. I'm sorry.
But that's the epitome of what the Democrats think about this country. They hate this country.
I'm so sick of this. Honestly, I really, truly am. Everything out of their mouth is how Donald Trump is going to be a dictator. And in fact, here, a quick example here, because we're almost out of time for the top of the hour here for the news update, which is going to be great. Stories coming out. Donald Trump fumbles repeatedly in a terrifying speech at a Florida rally. He didn't quite ring true, devoid of any necessary segues. It was a rambling, incoherent speech, a lengthy list of things. He went for a tear-jerking moment and then veered into complaining about something else. He talked about hoping for an emotional moment and then suddenly talks about the death penalty. I says, oh, it's horrible. Just one thing after another. How about how senile Donald Trump is? And then The Daily Show. They had two people on saying, oh, boy, Donald Trump made such a horrible thing. He wanted to talk about in the same breath dirty, crowded airports airports and flight delays, and then people dying of fentanyl as transition. There's blood in the streets, and what do I have to do to check my bags at the gate? So now they're saying Donald Trump makes bad speeches, and Donald Trump is senile. So all of a sudden now, the hangers-on still are now saying, well, we can't have Donald Trump. He's senile. He's almost, it's unbelievable. Honestly, they just can't stop. They'll do anything. Marla Maples, thank goodness, has come out of nowhere. Marla Maples is now 60, by the way. And she says, I'm ready. I'm available if needed. I'm not sitting back anymore. I want to step out more, share more, not be afraid of positive or negative outcomes that come from speaking out. She shares a daughter, Tiffany, of course, with a former husband. And it's his second White House bid has not been affected by her husband's legal troubles. She say, I know my daughter's father well enough to know that he's never had to push himself on another person, that whole fake rape thing. And she says that she told the Evening Standard that she'd be even happy to serve as his vice president if he asks her. Marla Maples. What a country. Almost 4 o'clock coming up here with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And wait till you hear more about some of the young kids in show business, including the kid who starred in Alf, and Carrie Russell with a Mouseketeer sex claim, which is a little creepy. And Neal Boortz coming up next after the news with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta's Safe House.
A new countdown in Washington. Lisa Brady, Fox News, as President Biden prepares to hold a news conference just over 2 hours from now.
There are headlines, bad headlines, that keep coming at Biden in the hours ahead of this high-stakes press conference. You had Politico report that at least 6 Democratic lawmakers have prepared statements that they will release if he tanks tonight or has another so-called bad night. The New York Times reports that some of Biden's closest advisors are discussing ways to get him to gracefully bow out of the race.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. The Biden campaign calls the reports false. Top campaign advisors meeting with Senate Democrats, including Connecticut's Richard Blumenthal.
I think Joe Biden has to take the fight to Donald Trump and allay the American people's concerns. And I think he is capable of doing it.
But he also says the meeting today only addressed some of his concerns about a path to victory. President Biden meeting earlier with Ukraine's president, who's urging NATO allies to lift restrictions on Western weapons.
In between meetings with NATO leaders at the Alliance's summit here in Washington, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky made his case for using Western-supplied weapons to strike military targets deep inside Russia.
If we want to win, if we want to prevail, if we want to save our country and to defend it, we need to lift all the limitations.
White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says nothing has changed with U.S. policy.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the NATO summit in D.C. Inflation cools for a third straight month, with consumer prices declining in June by 1/10 of a point. But that did not rally stocks. The Dow up, but only about 32 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ falling from record highs. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a plumber's to-do list that are harder than getting a small business insurance quote. Waking up for 5 a.m. plumbing disasters, finding out why water is pouring from the ceiling, replacing a pipe in a home from the 1800s, then dealing with invoices or your awkward apprentice or that really weird smell, and then there's breathing and eating and, of course, clogs. But the easiest thing on any small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you could save on the business insurance that's right for you. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Whoop, whoop, all right. 403, look out. It's only me, it's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder and Ricky Martin. 1999, old Ricky started a 3-week run at number 1 on the British chart with Livin' La Vida Loca. On America, it was number 1 for 5 weeks. The song was the first number 1 song to be recorded, edited, and mixed totally on a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation. So this is like a homemade tiny little, I don't know. Flounder, what is that? Is that like your own keyboard?
It's probably more of an at-home studio kit, so it's probably just a small board to where you're able to kind of...
What's the chick big star with her brother?
Billie Eilish.
Yeah, Billie Eilish. Don't they do that?
Yeah, yeah. But I know her brother, the producer, he definitely plays instruments. So he can play the guitar and things like that, but what they do a lot of the times is just use digital.
This is what guys, like a one-man band, if a guy's singing and he goes up by himself and they play has a musical accompaniment on his little side piece thing there. Anyway, Ricky Martin was the first one to do it on a digital audio workstation. They hit number 1. And good for him. Let's see, 404. Hold everything. Oh, my God. So speaking of special sounds, it's the time for Neal Boortz on 106.3 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Neal Boortz, welcome aboard from the hinterland, wherever that might be, sir. How you doing and what's going on?
Back home in Florida.
Oh, there you go. How's the weather?
It's overcast, drizzly, rainy.
Yeah.
We're not actually back home. But we are in, I guess, Central Florida somewhere.
Okay. Now, of course, your place is still being rehabbed, and so you're out in your home on wheels and so forth.
Don't even start.
Oh, what now? What, is it already a problem?
Well,
we builders and
we've been on the road for 2 months now, over 2 months.
Yeah.
I actually added up the mileage here.
Yeah.
2,429 miles we've traveled.
In 2 months, okay.
Yeah, to various places.
Yeah.
We park. And I'm not even sure the building permit has been issued for the...
I'll tell you what, we tore down a house and had one built on the lot, and it took a lot longer than we thought it might actually take. So, yeah.
Well, living in a condo, we have a deadline. I mean, you can't screw a screw or nail a hammer after... November 1st, so they better get it done.
Oh, because why would November 1st?
Well, that's when that's when the snowbirds start coming back.
Holiday time. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I guess.
By the way, I want to pause here and maybe give you a chance to celebrate some more old age rocker deaths.
All right, sir.
Of people I've never freaking heard of in my life.
Okay, fine.
And by the way, I'm not talking to Flounder.
Oh, no, what now? My God, man, what did he do?
Well, he got a sneak preview of tomorrow's commentary, and he didn't like it.
Well, it's about humpback whales and rap music.
Oh, my God.
Well, yeah.
Now I can't wait to hear that.
It's definitely still going to be put up on the digital ways.
Oh, my. Okay.
Oh, no, you got to talk about something serious. Look, I did this. How many years had Flounder done talk radio? I did it for 53.
Yeah, so there.
Well, there's definitely a lot going on in the political world, and Mr. Boortz wants to rap about humpback whales and rap music.
They're not humpbacks. They're
beluga.
Belugas. Yeah, okay.
No.
And they're smarter, a lot of them, than Flounder. By the way, why do you call him Flounder? Does he have both eyes on one side of his nose?
Well, it goes way back when he first started as our board op many years ago. I always give people nicknames, and I didn't have one for him. I think we called you Shakes or something at first because you're kind of high tension guy. And you're always doing something. You're always active.
The show I was on before, they called me Shaky Hands Brent because in the morning my hands would. It's a family Family arrow. It's a tremor disease.
Really cool. Anyway,
shaky hands is usually a symptom of something else.
Well, that's and blindness is another symptom as well, going blind. But it was because the guy, Dorfman, who played Flounder on Animal House, had died, and we thought, oh my God, because he was such a great character, and said, and kind of a perfect situation, we'll just call him Flounder, and that's how I decided to call him Flounder.
You know, I always thought there was somewhat of an advantage to using your real damn name when you're doing radio.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to say, oh, the next class in the legends of Atlanta radio, Flounder?
Flounder.
Yeah,
they'll know him as Flounder. Absolutely. He's got to go in as Flounder.
Listening to you for the last half hour reminded me of a couple of things. First, I really need to go to the bathroom. Second,
I reminded you of that, didn't it? I got a tinkle real bad, honey.
This thing about George Clooney leaving that he lacked stamina.
Please. Yeah, oh my God.
He left for an orgy, for God's sakes.
Probably taking a quick run. In fact, that movie where he killed Brad Pitt in his closet. And he was a runner. And he ran 5 miles every time he turned around. I think I'll take a 5-mile run. He was always running. It was a great movie. I can't remember what it was.
George
Francis
Clooney.
McDormand worked in an athletic club and wanted to get surgery. Anyway,
there is a movie star, Frances McDormand.
Yeah,
I love her. She's great.
Everything I've ever seen her in.
And you in that movie, what was it about the van life or whatever? Yeah, you got to see her fun bags.
Absolute something or
it won the Academy Award.
Oh my God, I can't. The one in the Billboard. Yeah, I can't remember. I shouldn't get distracted.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that reminded me of another show I did that Flounder would have hated.
Yeah.
And that was movie titles real movie titles that would actually be good titles for a porn movie.
That's always fun. It's like country music songs and stuff, Like, give me some example off the top of your head. Can you remember?
The Tom Cruise movie, The Firm?
Right.
No, there's one hands down winner.
Which is?
Russell Crowe starred in it.
Well, I'm trying to think of which one you're going
Gladiator.
to. A Gladiator.
Yeah.
There's a phrase that men and women can say, but it's totally different meaning when they say it. And the phrase is, I used up a whole box of tissues watching that movie.
Donna and I, which by the way I refer to her as the Queen, now I'm gonna have to start calling her the Apache too, because the 23andMe results came back.
Oh, she got a little Indian blood, does she? A little Native American kind of deal?
Chiricahua Apache.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I think in a former life I was a Sioux Indian warrior. I have a bunch of Sioux Indian stuff I bought at a reservation 50 years ago, and I think to God, generations ago I was a Sioux warrior. I'm so jealous. I wish I had some Indian blood. I'm sure
we were driving the Boortz bus down some road. Wyoming or South Dakota, somewhere up there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I looked up on a hill and I saw these little white things scattered around this hill. And the next thing you know, there was a sign that, Little Bighorn at
Custer's Last Stand, yeah.
Yeah. So we just pulled off the road, drove up there, and minutes later, I'm standing where Custer's Last Stand was.
It's remarkable.
There's amazing things.
Drive through the Badlands and the foothills and the rock. I mean, it's just amazing stuff out in that area.
There really is, and people need to travel more. Yeah. Donna and I sat using the outside TV on the Boortz bus and watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, out there? Oh man, cool.
while we were parked at the base of Devil's Tower.
Oh man, how cool is that? I hate you. You got a great life going. That's fantastic.
That's because I didn't have to go back to work to pay off. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding. Thank you. I'd almost forgotten. I think I'll work till 6.
So, on a serious side,
Yes,
maybe this will
Flounder be happier with your serious.
Flounder, I am not changing tomorrow's commentary. It is too damn good.
Well, there you are. I can't wait.
We will play it.
I'll be hearing it at 5:55 or whenever they first start. I'm up before the boys start at 6, but I don't know when your first commentary goes on. I don't know.
I think 8. They're embarrassed by it.
I think the first round starts at 7:40.
Oh my God. Okay. Well.
Yeah, they want to give people a chance to get to work before they're just
before they drive off the road in anger or whatever.
Oh yeah, or start throwing rocks at the Boortz billboards if they're still up there.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure.
I'm really in a serious vein.
Yeah.
More and more people are talking Kamala Harris. Please tell me.
You can't be possible.
No.
She's a disgrace. She's a fake and a fraud and a disgrace and an embarrassment to everybody. Just do a montage of all her speeches and her cackling and her shrieking. The tramp who banged her way to public life on the arm of Willie Brown, who ran California, on his arm in public when he was married. The same thing with Montel Williams. This woman is a disgrace. She's an empty
Williams.
Head. Oh, yeah, that was a side piece, too.
Montel did Willie Brown?
Well, probably. I'll bet there was a threesome. I would not be surprised. I'll bet you today, right now, that there was a threesome.
Kimmer.
Yeah.
Decaf.
I know, I'm sorry.
But if somebody would put a bungee cord around her knees about 15 years ago, we wouldn't be facing this threat right now. Can this country really be so far down the skids that Kamala Harris could be could live in the White House?
No, you can't. There's nobody in their right serious, even Democrats know that can't be possible.
Well, yeah, but if Joe Biden doesn't run, we're going to have to nominate Kamala Harris, or black voters won't like us anymore.
Well, they're going to turn. That's right. Again, I love the fact that they're in this mess. And two things. I love the fact that every minute something could happen that we're excited about and we don't know yet. I mean, it's like waiting for the shoe to drop. But again, I'm so glad that they are in this mess because they deserved it. They brought it on themselves. Yep. They started it when they picked a woman based on race and gender. The same thing they did for the Supreme Court, and now it's coming back to haunt them. They didn't want to have that girl from Massachusetts, and South Carolina's Clyburn said, okay, we get Biden, and boom.
Kimmer.
Yeah.
Decaf.
I know.
There's a video I'd like to see, but I don't think there's a video.
Of what?
That 18-year-old idiot that tried to carjack two secrets.
Sotomayor's car?
Well, it was the marshals that were assigned to guard Sotomayor's house.
Yeah, right.
And this Norwegian walks up and sticks a gun in their face and tells them to hand over the keys. And they shot him in the mouth.
Well, that's the best way. That should be the finish shot to me. It would be right in the nuts, but that's that's
no
way.
Mouth. Yeah, mouth. So this guy he's going to spend the rest of his life with a mouth that looks like a torn pocket because he tried to carjack two U.S. Marshals.
Yeah.
At 1:15 in the morning.
And by the way, isn't it ironic that Sotomayor, the dumb one of the woman has no brains in her head. She believed in her dissenting opinion on that case about immunity. She actually believes that the Supreme Court has now allowed Donald Trump to go down Broadway in New York and start murdering people with complete immunity. I mean, what an idiot to say that. And incidentally, Sotomayor also believes that nobody in America should have a gun. Nobody. No hunters, no target shooters, nothing. She believes nobody should have a gun.
Oh, come on, that's a bit extreme.
And they saved her with a gun. They saved her car anyway, and saved a guy. Saved getting killed. That guy could have killed both of them, and saved their lives with a gun.
I'm a terrible person because every time I hear about young thug, I don't care how much light they reflect or don't reflect. When I hear about them getting killed trying to hold up a convenience store or a liquor store or carjack somebody, it's just the best news I can have. Every morning I check into the news to see if some thug has been murdered trying to take advantage of somebody else. Not murdered is not the right term. Yeah. Killed. And I celebrate it. I think it's wonderful. I am not a nice person.
Well, that's got nothing to do with it. I mean, we have a right to our, a life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, including staying alive. And if they're, that's the choice they make. And the people are at the point in their lives where they are because of the decisions they've made along the way, with some exceptions. If you're born with no legs, you can't be a cop or a fireman. So, okay. But generally speaking, we are where we are because of what we have done to get there. And if you're a gangster and you're raised with no family, and your mommy didn't read books to you at night, and daddy didn't know you, and nobody went to your school, and you didn't have a parent-teachers conference, and all those things that any American should have been brought up with, and I guess nobody does that anymore, then you're going to turn out the way you do, and that's the way it goes. Don't blame us. You got the cards, man. Play your deck.
That is the quickest way for you to infuriate your listening audience is by telling them that wherever they are in life, they are there because of the sum total effect of all the decisions they have made in their life.
Yeah, with some exceptions. Yeah, obviously, if you're born with no arms, you can't be a pitcher in the big league. So, but clearly, I mean, if you have an accident and you lose your, then you can't do things. But generally speaking, you know what I mean.
Be something else.
Yeah.
A paperweight. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I mean, and again, it's just, we have to take responsibility for ourselves, basically, and I probably don't do it enough, but every once in a while I come up and remember that.
But wherever we are, we put ourselves there, and people hate that. It's always somebody else, and I didn't make any bad decisions. I'm just part of the less fortunate. Yeah. I just wasn't lucky enough, and they keep telling me that every time I hear a newscaster talk about the less fortunate. Well, that gives me all the excuse I need. I just wasn't lucky. That's
fortunate.
That's why I don't have a pot to cook in, and so it's infuriating. Almost as infuriating as if somebody sent me a naked picture of Huma Abedin.
Boy, she's in the news. She got married to some billionaire, and they showed her ring, and it's like 25 carats worth $17 million or something.
It looks like a spare tire.
Yeah,
but she married Soros' kids. One of his kids.
Yeah,
wait till a bag start forming under his eyes. She's going, oh my God, what am
Lordy.
And something else I'm looking forward to is when Meghan Markle finally just totally, completely disappears from American life.
There's been, and now that I have not been following the royal family stuff. It's in the news, and I've totally skipped over it. I just, the only thing I thought about talking about the other day was when the Prince Harry, who had his testicles cut off when he married that girl, is now thinking of not accepting the award from ESPN. And I don't know whether that's going to come true or not, but he may, because there's too much controversy about it, and he's too upset that they're blaming him for, being a celebrity and a foreigner and stuff like that. So he may not even accept the award.
They're in a jar, don't you?
In a jar?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They're in it. His nads are in a jar.
Oh, those are in a jar. I'm sure of it. So she can say, "Yeah, see, bring it up again, pal." So by the way, she ties him up. I guarantee it.
You don't remember this. You're not old enough, but there was a high school in South Georgia that got in trouble because they called their football team the Nads. And, during the game, people would be up in the street, go Nads.
Go Nads.
You think I'm making these things up?
No, it's absolutely true.
No, I've been around for a while. I've seen this stuff happen.
Yes, sir.
So.
Yes, you have.
But I could not, if somebody said, it is your decision right now, Boortz, you decide what happens to Joe Biden. I don't know whether I want him out.
No, keep him in. Keep him in.
Well, if you keep him in, what if he wins?
Well, the problem, I think people who suddenly now realize, since it's all out in the open now, the man is incapable. And I think the people who would normally say, well, I don't like that Trump very much, but I think they would also say, I sure don't want Carmela's side piece, the shiftless and lazy vice president, becoming president, because he's not going to last 4 years. I mean, we know that. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And what do you think about this? If he announces that he's going to step aside, he's going to stay as president, but he's not going to run again, and we'll have an open convention. He says, anybody who wants to run, we're going to have an open convention. Everybody show up, and we'll come up with a ticket. It'll be great. And my fear is that the people who hate Donald Trump so much will vote for anybody as long as Carmela's not the leader of it. Maybe, but again, if they don't put her on it, every black woman in America is going to stay home. So I think they're screwed, and I think that's delicious. I think I love the fact that they're in this mess, and I can't imagine what they're going to do. Do you have any idea, Neil? I mean, what do you think? Can you figure it out?
I mean, if Joe Biden really wanted to stick his finger in the eye of all of his detractors, instead of saying, I'm going to suspend my campaign, he would just say, I'm resigning effective noon tomorrow.
Oh, my God, no, we can't have her as president.
And then all of a sudden she's in the White House, the Democrats can't do a damn thing about it, or they'll lose forever the black vote. I mean, Kimmer, I think you and I might be somewhat on the same book here. I have an advantage, and it's an advantage I have only because I suffered through 3 years of law school.
Yes.
But I have the advantage of having worked with Donald Trump.
Okay.
On negotiating a legal contract, and so with that, I do not like that man.
Right.
But right now, facing America, he is the only rational choice to be the next president. And he may say outlandish things. He may have called John McCain a loser. And by the way, I have a very dear friend in Naples. He's a Vietnam vet. He flew his intruder right into the path of a North Vietnamese missile. He was at the Hanoi Hilton for 6 years, and his next door neighbor was John McCain.
Yeah.
And he has
the code, and
I know it.
Yeah.
And he's told me stories about John McCain and how he conducted himself at the Hanoi Hilton that just make you absolutely love that man.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
sure.
The North Vietnamese, they wanted to turn him loose early because his old man was an admiral. And John McCain said, no freaking way. I will leave only when it's my turn by virtue of, when I was imprisoned. So I get really irritated when
Trump that was stupid. Trump, he made two stupid comments that have followed him and been responsible for most of the stuff. One of them was about, I like my heroes who don't crash their planes, or whatever the hell he said. And the other one was, there are good people on both sides. He was talking about the issue of taking down statues. There are good people on both sides of the issue of taking down statues. And they put it into the Nazis, and boom, wham, and now forever and ever, Donald Trump says there are good Nazis. So, Trump in his mouth, his stupid freaking mouth, he just shut up once in a while, he'd be fine.
Exactly.
But the thing about Donald Trump is he has never done anything except to make America great, and he has such an ego. He wants to be the best president this country's ever had. And as long as that's his ego model, boy, that's okay with me. So.
Well, it goes back to the Woolman Ice Rink in New York City. What the guy does is spectacular. What he says is insanity.
We need him, though. We're at war here. This is a political war. We're in danger. We're in trouble in this country.
Kimmer, we talked about this, about that little meeting he had with the Taliban commander in Afghanistan. What a great story.
Yeah. If you touch anybody, I will kill you, and puts a picture of his house on the table and walks out of the room.
Walks out of the,
Mic drop, holy smokes.
That is the quintessential example of badass.
Yeah.
And we need a badass president right now. We really do. For the border, for Vladimir Putin,
for NATO, for everything.
And for whatever gas bag they're going to make the next leader in Venezuela. All of it. We need one. But never have I seen presidential season like this one.
This is unbelievable.
It's a happy time to be old, Kimmer, because whatever happens,
like you, I keep thinking back to the 70s, Watergate and the press, man, we couldn't wait to get to the truth and finding the tapes. My God, the media was the way they were going to get those stuff, and all of a sudden now we caught the media admitting finally, well, they're not admitting it, but they've gotten caught being their shameful activity, covering up all this stuff for years and years and years. So I'm thrilling about
I know. It's just gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So
news conference tonight. Before I don't know how are we doing okay on time there, Flounder? I want to ask you about
have anywhere to go.
Well, we could go till 6 as far as I'm concerned, till 5 because Shannon Burke joins us too. But now
let's take a quick break and then we can come back and he can do the next segment.
All right, let's do that. Neil, can you hang on?
Well, what else do I have to do?
Well, if it were me, I could think of like one or two things offhand. But again, you're the one with the girl in the house. But anyway, hold on. 428, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We'll be right back with Neal Boortz. So we got that going for us. Look out.
When your equipment breaks down, stop by Howard Brothers for all of your parts needs. They've got your supply of Kawasaki filters, belts, blades, and everything else you need to keep your equipment in top shape. At Howard Brothers, they will ensure you get exactly what you need. Whether you're powering up a lawnmower, string trimmer, or a tiller, you can trust they have the right parts and the best service around. And Kawasaki engines deliver the power and performance that Howard Brothers customers demand. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Kawasaki and Howard Brothers.
Insurance companies know that you don't know a lot about the law, so maybe it would be better just to let your lawyer make the call to the insurance company when there's a problem. David Van Sant should be that lawyer. He used to work for the insurance company. He knows who to call, what to say, and he has your best interest at heart. Plus, if you don't get paid, either does he. Van Sant Law, 855 GA Injury or vansantlaw.com.
Have you heard about Sonder and their Georgia-based Medicare Advantage health plans? Sonder Health Plans is committed to revolutionizing healthcare, making it straightforward, personal, and affordable. Call them and ask if you qualify for their fantastic $400 grocery card offer and $0 premiums. They've even got their own radio show and podcast called Weekend Wellness, dedicated to keeping all Georgians healthy and happy at every age. Call 800-331-2928 or visit SonderHealthPlans.com. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Weather's warming up, and I can't wait to get to the ranch this summer, to paint, to roam. Cool summer nights with my family, being out by the campfire. I remember when I couldn't do a lot of these things because the altitude created a constant, unbearable pain for me. My wife, Tanya, insisted that I tried Relief Factor. I didn't think it would work for me. It's a 100% drug-free daily supplement. It's supposed to help your body fight pain naturally. I mean, I went to the best doctors in the world and they couldn't help me. I didn't think this would work. Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask the pain. It reduces or even eliminates it by reducing the inflammation in your body. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joint, muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you will start to feel the difference all day, every day. I've been taking Relief Factor for years now, and it has truly changed my life. ReliefFactor.com. 800-4-RELIEF. 800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. 800-4-RELIEF. ReliefFactor.com.
Here we go. Sing me home, baby. Christine. Fleetwood Mac. The girl like me says the word baby in the first sentence of this song. One of my favorites. Falling at your feet. Fleetwood Mac. 19. I'm sorry, what's that? Yes.
She's dead, you know.
I know, I don't care. She sings me home every night. I have 7 Fleetwood Mac songs on my magic music stick that Flounder put on for me. I don't play 2 of them because they're too sad, but I play 5 of them, and this is one of them. And one of them over my head where she says, you can take me anytime you like. And I said, that's what makes a real woman. She didn't say you can have me. You didn't say you can see me. You didn't say you can talk to me. She said you can take me anytime you like.
My favorite female vocalist is Alison Krauss.
I love her. I love Alison Krauss. What's that sweet song she had? I can't remember the name of the damn thing. She has a moaning whiskey lullaby. Is that? Oh God, what a sad song that is. Did she do that one? I think she did Whiskey Lullaby.
How about There's a Ghost in This House? The Ghost in This House.
I don't think I know that one for some reason.
Yep. She was on stage. She said, we were in Nashville and we went to hear so-and-so and such sing a song. And she says, and he sang this song. And she says, and I thought it was the most horrible thing I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
She said, so we do it too now. Because it's like the rest of the sad, pitiful stuff we do all the time. It's called Ghost in This House, and it is also incredible. By the way, are you going to contribute to the GoFundMe for Rafael Freitas?
I don't know Rafi. The Raf man, I don't know what Rafi's looking for now. What's his issue of this thing here?
East Cobb, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he just changed jobs. He had no health insurance.
Yeah.
So instead of hiding until he had health insurance, he goes out in the backyard and was working in the yard, and the copperhead nailed him.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. He was in the ICU for Lord knows how long, but the anti-venom alone, $50,000.
Oh, brother.
So they
no health insurance. Holy smokes.
Well, he had changed jobs. I mean, they didn't insure him from day one. I
thought it was automatic that you get that Zephyr. What the hell's the name of that thing everybody gets when you change jobs? You can get the thing for 6 months or whatever.
I don't know.
Cobra, Cobra plan. Where when you leave a job, you get Cobra for 6 months or whatever.
You see, that was a problem. He needed the Copperhead plan, not the Cobra plan.
Hey, hi-oh. Thank you.
But I hope these GoFundMe things usually are kind of iffy, but I hope people find that GoFundMe and help this guy pay for his anti-venom.
Well,
when I lived on the river, Kimmer, up in Chattahoochee and Dumpwoody.
Oh yeah.
I got into a nest of copperheads with my weed eater.
Oh boy.
I mean, all of a sudden the weed eater wasn't working. I looked down, there's these snakes wrapped around my weed eater. So I just kept my hand on the trigger and just
keep spinning. Oh
yeah, I just filleted all of them.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I lifted up a rock when I was tired down in Florida at the stable where I got Jack the Good Boy, and there were little baby snakes under like a rock and log cave thing that I was cleaning up and building a stable for. And I'll tell you what, man, that scared the crap out of me. I don't like snakes.
As long as we're getting scared by things, which would you rather see next to you in the ocean?
In the ocean, all right, sir?
Yeah, a killer whale or a nurse shark?
Oh, in fact, I will try to remember, and tomorrow when I get home tonight, I will try to find the picture of me holding up a giant shark, and it was a nurse shark, and I'm holding it up out of the water, showing that I'm holding a shark in my hands. So I would definitely rather have a nurse shark than a killer whale or whatever you said.
I take the killer whale anytime.
And why was that, sir?
There is not one single time in recorded history where an orca, a killer whale, attacked a human being.
Well, that's not true. They ate that girl by her ponytail down in SeaWorld. They ate her. I mean, they grabbed her by and took her down and humped her and ate her.
Cameron.
I'm sorry. If they grabbed her by the ponytail, we grabbed her by the ponytail and humped her and killed her.
In the wild, Kimmer. In the wild. I didn't.
Well, now, how do you know that? I mean, how does anybody know that? Well, nobody knows what killer whales are doing when nobody's around. I mean, who knows how many people in a boat fell off a boat and a killer whale ate them?
They're dolphins.
Okay, I like dolphins. Well,
they're big dolphins.
Now, are killer whales the one I saw this in one of those that great British voice guy who does all the nature story documentaries and stuff. I can't remember. Edinburgh. And he did the one about how killer whales are so smart that they will get in a band of like 8 of them, and they'll start about 500 yards off the shore in the ocean, and then they will round up a bunch of fish, and they will all form a barricade and start storming the shore and force all the fish onto the land, and then they sit there half on land and half in the water eating the fish they've just corralled. Damnedest thing I ever saw.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
but
it's amazing.
If there's a seal or something on an ice floe, they will rush the ice floe and wash the seal off as an appetizer.
Oh, really? Wow.
Well, they've been attacking those boats off Gibraltar
that's
lately.
Right. Yeah. That's
yeah, but they haven't killed anybody.
Well, I will accept. Not that anyone would. How can you say, well, I've never seen an orca eat a human? I bet they've never done that. But I'll take your word for it. I will accept your comment.
I'm very, very careful with my words.
I'm sure you are.
I said there has never been a record of an orca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the video, therefore. That makes sense.
And now it's the whales that they go down below and they create these bubble circles from down below.
Yeah.
And all of the krill are trapped by that bubble circle.
I've seen those. Yeah, I have seen that stuff. I love watching those nature shows. I love watching those.
Oh, I do
things.
too. Like Debbie Does Dallas was a great nature show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was right next to the ship I was on, and all of a sudden this bubble curtain appears, and here come those humpbacks roaring out of the water with their mouths open.
You saw this?
Yeah, it was maybe 20 yards off the side of the ship. It was amazing.
Wow, cool. I've been on a whale hunting thing, or not hunting, a whale sightseeing thing, and did see a couple of whales. So I've seen that, but I've never seen any real action in the ocean. I have seen them jumping out of the water, but that's about it.
That's what I hear.
With your reputation, I would have sworn you'd had some action in the ocean.
Well, I've had, like I say, with whales, I've never had that much whale action. I had one chick was kind of a whale of a girl, but that's a whole other issue. She was a float.
Aren't you tired of these so-called plus size girls?
At this point, I feel bad. I feel bad for them. I mean, I'm happy for them if they're happy and they're doing stuff. But honestly, I can feel bad. I think they're trying to justify their unhappiness, maybe, and I could be totally wrong on this. I'm not trying to be offensive in any way, but I really, it's like trannies. I feel the most thing I feel for trannies is to feel sorry for them. How'd you like to pretend you're somebody else?
You sound like my wife. You sound like Donna.
Well, I mean, if they start trying to get kids to be a tranny, then I want then take them out, but into the backyard and spank them properly.
I love the billboards for that workout company up in San Francisco. This has got to be 20 years ago. They showed a picture, a drawing of a real fat chick, and then it said, when the aliens get here, they'll eat the fat ones first. In other words,
work out. Save yourself.
Yeah. If you don't work out, you could be a snack for an alien. And that upset the plus size girls like you. It was so tragic. So anyway, I'm going to go now.
Okay. Well, thank you. If you watch a news conference and have anything to say, they call it the Big Boy News Conference tonight. I think it's at 6:30. It was supposed to be 5:30. Biden, and if this is a test for the media, they should try to make him cry. They should try to make him swallow his tongue right there in front of the freaking podium. And if they don't, then they're still in on the fix. The media's on trial here tonight. I can't wait to get this when I get on.
Listen, Biden has committed some of the most egregious self-inflicted political injuries
ever.
Yep. And by the way, I'm not saying any of you have done this.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
not Pete, not Flounder, not you, whatever.
Never do that.
Don't ever use the word existential. God, I'm tired of that word.
Every time they say it, what do you mean he's an no one's ever said that word. And let's say we're talking to that writer who was famous for it back in 1960 when I was in prep school.
Proust.
Proust. Yeah, we had to read the existential. And that's the only time I've ever even seen or heard that word until Donald Trump became president. And
all of a sudden,
my God!
I got to go to the bathroom. This is an existential crisis.
I don't even know. I still don't know what it means. I mean, I know what they want it to mean, but it's all nonsense. You can't even use it in that context. Anyway, whatever.
And then the kids, everything is literally. I literally got up this morning. I literally had breakfast. I literally went to school. I literally need to sharpen my pencil. Oh,
yeah, but unfortunately, when they use it in he literally cut his head off. He was so angry with that thing. No, he didn't literally cut his head off. He literally tore his arm from his socket.
Well, we have a lot of fun. It's a good thing I don't want to go back on the air again.
Yeah, I don't blame you, my friend. Anyway, Neal Boortz, thank you so much. Again, next week or anytime. If you see the debate tonight, want to call tomorrow, please do. And whatever's on your mind. Literally. We're happy to have you aboard. Neal Boortz, adios, my friend. Semper clarify. And hi to the sweet missus. And we'll see you again next time. 441.
The Apache. Yeah.
I'm thinking of a Cher song right now. Anyway, 440.
We can keep going.
He said he's wants to. Yeah. So I think it's time to. 442. Again, Neal, anytime with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. Here we go. Happy days.
Time for the Boortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
I've noticed some more whining from the left about CEO pay. Those evil capitalists running these major corporations making so much money. I have a few questions I want to ask you. Why is it Buc-ee's now instead of Stuckey's? Why is it Walmart instead of Kmart? You know, we're talking about thousands of jobs here, maybe tens of thousands. Why is Home Depot flourishing, but you never hear of Plymart anymore? The answer? Leadership, management, good decision-making, planning, innovative thinking. Where does this come from? The top, the evil, dastardly CEOs who create tens of thousands of jobs and push their new startups past the already existing competition. I have a friend in Naples, a former CEO of a corporation every one of you have heard of, retired now, and he makes money by rescuing corporations that are in trouble. He moves in, takes over, fires who needs to be fired, hires the talent that needs to be hired, saves the business, then walks out. Why? Because he has the skills to do this. Meanwhile, many people, they make so much money, it's just not fair. Why don't you do it then? Why don't you go save a corporation? Why don't you create something new that bypasses the competition? Maybe you don't have the skills or the courage. Some people do, and they make a lot of money creating jobs, saving businesses. Start looking in your own pocket, people, and keep your noses out of other people's pockets. They made it. They've earned it. Neal Boortz, Extra 106.3.
When storms wreak havoc on your home, who do you trust to make things right? Look no further than Southern Exteriors. Hey, it's Tug. With over 25 years experience, they understand the urgency of storm damage. They offer emergency response and free estimates to assess the situation and get your home back on track. Southern Exteriors is committed to your home's long-term well-being. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, windows, or doors, they have the expertise to handle it all. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, restoring peace of mind one storm at a time.
Well, Stephen, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we can't offer you the position.
Why?
Well, we ran your background check and there were several red flags.
Like what?
You were arrested 7 times for reckless driving.
So
you're applying for the school's bus driver position.
If you're in charge of hiring for your company, you know how helpful a background screening can be. That's why companies that use Horizon background screening make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com. horizonscreening.com.
Have you considered securing your family's future? Protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease. Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademark Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you're absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. Contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit nelsoneldercarelaw.com.
How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 446 with Pete Davis and Flounder. And the Smashing Pumpkins was on this day in 1996. Jonathan Melvoin, the keyboard player with Smashing Pumpkins, died from a drug overdose in New York. He was 34. The Pumpkins drummer Jimmy Chamberlain, who was with Melvoin, tried but failed to revive him after Chamberlain was allegedly advised by the operators in 911 to put his head in the shower. Several songs were inspired by his death, including Sarah McLachlan's hit single, Angel. Well, I didn't know that. That song, Sarah McLachlan, Angel, is about this guy? The Smashing Pumpkins keyboard player died of a drug overdose. Wow. He was the brother of Susanna and Wendy Melvoin of Prince and the Revolution. Melvoin had been a member of the Dickies. Okay, well, that's a shame. Young man. Our birthday list includes Giorgio Armani. My God, the man's still alive. He's 90. Fashion mogul. The 80s wouldn't have been the same without him, and ridiculous amounts of blow. That's what it says here. The 80s wouldn't have been the same without all that cocaine. Is that what you're saying? Giorgio Armani, freaking 90 years old. Good for you, man. And on this, I've got kind of a special, I looked up a bunch of things, history note here today. And by the way, coming up later, I know you're going to want to just stay tuned for this. I'm going to bring you a musical birthday. Well, yeah, a musical birthday.
You're not going to sing, are you?
No. Even better. Even way better. Now, first of all, 1804. Talk about the rough days of politics. The Treasury Secretary and the Vice President of the United States in a freaking duel. Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr were political personal enemies. They fought their duel on this day in 1804. In February of that year, Dr. Charles Cooper, a Republican from New York, went to a dinner party where Hamilton, the Treasury Secretary, criticized the Vice President Burr. The doctor later wrote a letter to Hamilton's father-in-law, Philip Schuyler, saying Hamilton's despicable opinion of Burr called him a dangerous man. Burr demanded that Hamilton apologize or explain his comments. Hamilton said, I can't apologize because I mean what I said. And that Burr's response was menacing and offensive, so then the Vice President of the United States challenged the Treasury Secretary to a freaking duel. And it took place in Weehawken, New Jersey, which, by the way, was against the law. The final act in their long-running conflict between the two men, Hamilton, as the challenged man, chose his brother-in-law's pistols. It was common then for both principals in a duel to deliberately miss or fire their shot into the ground to exemplify courage, a practice known as deloping. The duel could then come to an end, and both men could say, well, we fought in a duel, and now we're alive, and don't ever do that again. I'll write you a strongly worded letter next time. It was very common to have a duel, but really deliberately miss. In fact, Hamilton fired into a tree above Burr's head. Burr did not miss. He returned fire and hit Hamilton in the lower abdomen right above the right hip. Hamilton died 36 hours after the duel from his wounds. He was taken to New York by boat, died the next morning, and Burr, the vice president, was indicted for murder in both New York and New Jersey, where the duel was. The Hamilton died 36 hours later. In 1807, by the way, Vice President Burr was indicted, but he was never arrested. But his reputation was ruined, and he never did anything political again. In 1807, 3 years later, Burr was accused of treason in a separate incident, but he was acquitted in a trial presided over by Chief Justice John Marshall. He quietly worked as a lawyer in New York in his later years. Burr was financially dependent upon his friends, had multiple strokes, left him paralyzed. He finally died in 1836 at the age of 80. And the duel, the vice president and the Treasury Secretary.
And he went to try and be king of Texas, and that failed, which is the treason part. I mean, it's just. You want to read a great book about him, and everything going on and that stuff. Gore Vidal Burr.
I've heard of that. I have heard of that.
And the sequel, 1876, you will learn so much about American history. Even though it's fiction, you'll learn so much.
Wow, pretty weird. Anyway, what a story. By the way, it's 4:51, our 4 o'clock hour, sponsored by the Kimmer Safe Company, Atlanta Safe House, home of the Kimmer Safes. You need a safe, come on. They have a showroom in Ackworth, and check them out on the web. Pistol safes, gun safes, jewelry safes, happy safes, stuff to keep your medical records and your living will and stuff for your kids. AtlantaSafehouse.com. KROE.com. 451, Kimmer, Peyton, Flounder. So much, well, but first, Flounder's Funnies. What do you got there, Flounder?
So I met this guy named Greg, and I asked him, I was like, hey, do you spell Greg with 2 or 3 G's? And he said 1. So then I was like, which one? Is it Greg? Is it Reg? Look, you've had your name longer than I've had it. Like, I don't mean to Greg explain to you here, but maybe you have a shortcut that I'm like, how do you spell it? Like, maybe you're a genius, right? Maybe you're an genius. I don't know. Maybe you're a magician. Maybe you're a magician. You know what I mean? From where I'm sitting, it's like magician impossible, but I'm open to learning. Greg, how is it possible that you spell your name with only 1 G? And you know what he said? He said, it's actually Craig. You misheard me. So I was like, okay, I don't have to win free conversation.
Who's that, Flounder? We've heard
Mike Kaplan.
We've heard him before. Funny guy. 452, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We have a lot more politics coming up, and we'd love to have your calls. What do you think about what's going to happen tonight, and are you excited about it? Whatever. Anyway, 404-741-1230. Some bizarre celebrity news making the rounds today. Benji Gregory is the child star who portrayed Brian Tanner in the old TV series Alf. That was the one with the monster from outer space. Or I never actually saw the show, but
it was funny, and he loved eating cats.
Oh, is that what it was? I remember that when you said it. Anyway, this guy, Benji Gregory, was the child star, and he was just found dead in his car in Arizona outside Phoenix. He had gone to, he was found in a parking lot of a bank. He had gone there to deposit some residual checks from the show, apparently 40 years later. And his dog, his service dog, was also dead in the vehicle. The high temperature in Metro was 108 degrees on the day he died. Again, they're not saying what the cause of death was, and the assumption was something about the heat, but how could a grown man, I mean, he was 46 years old, and a service dog, again, I don't know why he had a service dog. It doesn't say here in the story, and it doesn't say what the cause of death was. It's still pending. He did TV commercials. He was on shows, The A-Team, Fantasy Island, mostly for Alf. He also enlisted in the Navy and became an aerographer's mate, tracking weather for aviation and nautical safety, and I think he was released on a medical discharge, if I'm not mistaken. I read that somewhere. I don't see it here at the moment. He received an honorable medical discharge in 2005 from the Navy. So obviously there was something medically. He had a service dog, so clearly something happened. But again, I don't know. But the Alf star Benji Gregory passed away. Also, we mentioned earlier Shelley Duvall. Famous actress, died at 75, the star of The Shining. Here's Johnny with Jack Nicholson. She was Wendy Torrance in that Stanley Kubrick horror movie, died in her sleep. Her life partner for 30 years almost, Dan Gilroy, said she was a sweet, wonderful life partner and left us suffering lately. Now she's free. Fly away, beautiful Shelley. She was Olive Oyl in Popeye. She was in Annie Hall. I remember, I can't say what her famous line was, and how Woody Allen responded to it. She was in McCabe and Mrs. Miller, and she kind of retreated from Hollywood 20 or so years ago. She suffered from mental illness. She said she was hurt by the show business world. In an interview with The Times, she said she left show business because Hollywood hurt her. I was a star leading roles. People think it's aging, but it's not. It's violence. She went on Dr. Phil talking about her mental illness, and Dr. Phil was criticized for what people saw as trying to exploit her. Her boyfriend, live-in lover guy, chimed in saying her interview with Dr. Phil was supposed to help her career, but it ended up being damning and made her look like an idiot, a kind of an odd goofball. And he was worried about her, especially when she used to sleep in her car. They moved to Texas for a happier life, and then she started being afraid of things, and her life went downhill after that, and Shelley Duvall passed away at the age of 75 from diabetes in Texas in her sleep last night. 4:56, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Carrie Russell. Now, she was a cute little actress, and The Americans was the one, that was her huge star thing. Carrie Russell is in Mission Impossible 3. She was starred in the show from 1991 to 1993. movie, Mickey Mouse Club girl, and she said she had to leave the Mickey Mouse Club when she was known as being sexually active. Usually girls who looked like they were sexually active, which probably I was the first, they're like, she's out, this one's gone. Pregnant Mouseketeers are not on the roster, said Carrie Russell, who's now 48 years old. The boys stayed till they were like 19, but I was had sex with that person, so I know they've had sex for real, she told her producers. Carrie Russell did not reveal who her fling was with when she was a child, like 15, 16. She said, by the way, I had a 12-year-old boy body. There's nothing really sexy about me. I think that was what made Disney nervous. She was working at the time, wouldn't say who the fling was with, maybe Justin Timberlake or Ryan Gosling. Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera were also Mouseketeers. She said, girls in sexuality, that's what they were doing. Carrie Russell also said she was lucky to get out alive from their time as a Mouseketeer. Not everybody kept their sanity.
She was in Cocaine Bear recently.
Oh, that I never saw that movie. That was a huge hit for a while.
It was about a bear that was right east of me, basically up here
in Georgia. Ate a load of cocaine from an airplane crash or ditched it or whatever it was. And he went nuts. And the Americans, what a great series that was. That really was a great series.
They should sequel that. They really should have the kids.
I can't believe they haven't had her daughter and the brother who was into nothing. He was a college kid. He had nothing to do with anything. That would be a great angle if the sister and the handler woman who was still around. I mean, I don't know.
Find out what happened to them.
Yeah, when going back to Russia. How they? Yeah, exactly. Today they're both alive. They're in their 40s. It's not like they can't do the movie.
Oh, by the way, they're married in real life. Oh, they left their others to marry them. Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's
okay,
pretty cool.
If you say so.
Well, I hate it because who am I? Well, as long as she's happy, as long as he could give her the nest egg, so she could finally find the one she's happy with. The man's a giver, obviously. Her other husband obviously was kind of a giver. Let's say that. So happiness abounds for everybody. 4:59, and coming up. By the way, have you been studying anything about this Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation thing? All of a sudden now people are talking. I don't even know what it is. I've just today started reading into it, and now all the Democrats are saying
it's not even on his website. What's on his website is Agenda 47.
Yeah, exactly. But
now the liberals are pushing Project 2025.
They're saying it's all for Donald Trump. The Project 2025 for Donald Trump to help him be a dictator on day one. I mean, they can't stop these people. Anyway, coming up almost 5 o'clock. Holy crap! It's sports, and Shannon Burke is back on the radio in Man Country in Florida. We'll check in what's the latest coming up on Kevin Payne Flounder and Shannon Burke, 5 o'clock. Look out.
and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
Democrat defections. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. At least 14 lawmakers are now calling on President Biden to drop out of the presidential race. 13 in the House, 1 in the Senate. Top campaign advisors meeting with Senate Democrats earlier today.
There's a lot of Democrats looking for some sort of a signal to understand where the campaign is going. This was a question that John Hickenlooper, a Democrat from Colorado, had.
I got to see if they can move the needle. If they've got a plan and you know, not just the ambition, but the tactics to move the needle.
Now, many members of Congress, Democrats, they're watching to see how the president performs in the press conference tonight and also in the coming days.
Fox the Chat program in Washington, where the president is scheduled to face reporters a little over an hour from now, 6:30 Eastern, after a day of meetings for the NATO summit. Some Republicans accuse White House staff of hiding cognitive decline.
Has there been a cover-up? If if so, many of us have asked questions for a long time. Who's actually calling the shots? Is there a shadow government in effect?
House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, as that panel subpoenas 3 White House aides to testify. But earlier today, 4 Republicans defected as the House rejected a resolution that would have hit the U.S. Attorney General with a $10,000 per day fine for failing to turn over audio tapes of a special counsel's interview with the president. New York's top court just ruling that a so-called Equal Rights Amendment will be allowed on the state's November ballot. The proposal aimed at protecting abortion rights by banning discrimination over gender identity and pregnancy outcomes. A Republican state lawmaker sued to block the ballot question. She had some unforgettable roles.
I just want to go back to my room.
From The Shining to Popeye, just to name 2, actress Shelley Duvall has died, complications from diabetes. She was 75. America is listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a plumber's to-do list that are harder than getting a small business insurance quote. Waking up for 5 a.m. plumbing disasters, finding out why water is pouring from the ceiling, replacing a pipe in a home from the 1800s, then dealing with invoices or your awkward apprentice or that really weird smell, and then there's breathing and eating and, of course, clogs. But the easiest thing on any small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you could save on the business insurance that's right for you. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
The best things in life, they come in 2s. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable, nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in 2s. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog target. Pop dear little pair of road guards out. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer 503 with Pete Davison, Flounder, and we're going south to Florida Man Radio any minute now. And by the way, coming up, we're going to talk a lot of politics and the big boy the news coverage are calling it tonight. What a disgraceful, shameful way to put it. Oh, he's going to do the big boy. Oh, he's going to get his big boy pants now, maybe move out of the Pampers. Anyway, a Milwaukee radio station run by black people, apparently, and a black host admits now that they did an interview with Biden and the Biden campaign asked them to edit out all the bad stuff, making him look like a dirtbag. Coming up at first 504 and down to Florida we go, connecting with our man Shannon Burke. He's back on the air.
Hey,
he's back on the air.
What do you say, bud?
How you doing, Shannon?
Doing well.
Now, what's the story? Now you were off and now you're back, and what's going on?
I fought my way back on the air. And I broke into the studio, and I've currently got the GM and the PD and zipper handcuffs in their offices. I'm feeding them. And no, I'm back on the network as in Fort Walton and Ocala while we pursue other markets here. So yeah, from the house, by the way.
Well, there you are. Outstanding. Yeah. Well,
I heard you just talking about the Philly radio station,
Milwaukee station.
Yeah, but the other one was Philly, where she admitted it.
Yeah, but this one's even worse. This one now says, let me get the thing here. Civic Media, the network that runs the thing, broadcast his comments in July on the Earl Ingram show, and the decision by the program to scrub the remarks prior to airing the interview. They removed references about the number of blacks in his administration. You black people, and incoherent commentary on the Central Park 5, so they edited out all the bad stuff. 5 minutes into the 18-minute interview, he claimed, "I have more blacks in my administration than any other president, all the presidents combined, in major positions, cabinet positions." Well, of course, that was a lie. I mean, he went on and on. But again, the campaign said, we want you to edit that stuff, and they did.
Yeah.
They did.
They
God,
did it.
Shame on you.
The other station in Philly was like, "Hey, we don't do that kind of stuff. We certainly don't admit it when we."
Well, they fired that girl who did the question. And again, that was even worse. That was where she was using their questions, which is one thing. I think this is even worse.
I agree.
This is deliberately hiding from the public. You wanted him on the radio, and you got him, and now you're faking it to make him look better than he was. Lose the license. I mean, they do not deserve to have a broadcast license. In fact, by God, we'll take it. Let's get Mr. Dickey in here. It's a Milwaukee station, civic media. All right, where's Mr. Dickey? We want that radio station. We'll take it over right now, starting next week. God, I love this idea.
I think it's a small outfit. They've only been around since for 2 years. Civic Media. They're just a state in a state, probably a little mom and pop there, and maybe they got a pending issue before the FCC for a license or something. I get it.
Tell them to stick it. No way you don't edit things. You can't. You can't. But again, and I love the fact that all of a sudden now the mainstream media are saying, God, I can't believe they were hiding from us what he was really like all this time. We had no idea that he was, he fell off his bicycle before. I mean, there's been a million things going on, for God's sakes. I mean, what are you kidding me?
I heard today that we should have taken heed of this when they didn't do the Super Bowl commercial. We're
losing you. Hold on. Did we lose him?
Yeah.
We're cutting in and out. There we go. Have you got a storm down there?
No, too many birds are on the line. I'm looking out the window right now.
I think we're okay. It kind of dumped out there for a while. But that's fine. We're all good here.
He said we should have known back in the campaign from the basement when he told his guy to move the teleprompter up during an interview. It was supposed to be impromptu, but
everybody knew it. Everybody knew this from the very beginning. I mean, there's been no secrets here. They were in the cover-up. In fact, now, thank God, and I don't know whether they'll be able to claim executive privilege, but Comer, the congressional leader of the investigation thing in the House, is now subpoenaed 3 of his top secret hidden aides to see whether or not they have been hiding from the American people a shadow government running things for this man to protect him from the American people knowing that he's not capable. And if that's true, I mean, it's another chunk. And I think this is all leading up to the fact that they're now saying the latest word is that he may wait until after the news conference to announce that he's not going to run again. I mean, I don't know.
The big boy news conference?
Yeah, the big boy.
It's a big boy. What do you make of that?
Shameful. You're going to get big boy shoes now? Oh, boy, this would be fun. Or you're going to get a big boy bike with no training wheels.
Well, he is the big guy.
Yeah, he's the big boy.
You're right. That's true.
Clown shoes.
Yeah. What do you guess goes from here? He drops out. He clings to power.
Honestly, I don't know I don't know how they can get rid of him. If they get rid of him, they're going to have to run Carmela's side piece, the shiftless and lazy vice president, at the top of the ticket. They can't keep her as VP or tell her not to run, and they'll give you a place on the Supreme Court if we win, kind of deal. Again, I think they're going to get screwed if they do anything to Carmela because she's black and she's female. And those people will stay home if they dump her off the ticket. So they can't get rid of her. So what are they going to do? Put her with
testing
who?
Her right now.
Who else is going to be on the ticket with her if he leaves? They've got to stay with him.
Yeah, I think so. Even if George Clooney says not to?
And again, that was putty tat. That was Barack Hussein putty tat, all behind all that stuff. I guarantee. Why would all of a sudden an actor takes it upon himself to say, well, I think I'll step forward here and say it's about time of the New York Times to tell him it's not. I mean, please. And he says that he got permission from putty tat, basically. He showed it to Obama, and Obama said fine with him, and he didn't have a problem with it. But again, I think it's probably the other way around. But again, all this inside stuff, and Shannon, I'll tell you, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what's going to be next. It's a complete crapshoot. I think they're screwed either way. So, I mean, what are they? And I love the fact that they brought it upon themselves. They get exactly what they deserved. They did this to America, and they did this to themselves, and I'm glad. And I hope in that news conference tonight, I hope the media, which is on trial as far as I'm concerned, I hope they make him freaking cry. I hope they make him poop his pants. I swear to God, I hope they make him crawl down and on his knees and say, I'm so sorry, mommy, and maybe finally freaking be over. The media's on trial tonight. If they don't start acting like the media would if it were Donald Trump going through all this stuff, like Jim Acosta did every freaking day for 4 years, then to me, they're still in cahoots with him. If they don't make him weep tonight and get him so flustered he's going to start screaming. He's going to say, no joke, no joke, no joke. And by the way, when he thinks what he's supposed to say, I mean, I can't. I've got my DVR running because I don't want to be late getting home tonight in case I miss anything. I can't wait.
Can any of you guys remember another time that this president gave an open question?
It's been a year. This is the first time in a year that he's faced the media by himself. He's been in other news conferences with world leaders where they don't get to it. This is the first time in at least a year where he's going to be answering questions from the press by himself.
And my second question: do you think? I mean, because if Barack can call George Clooney and have him, do this and do that, and
more actors, and a lot more actors come out now too, as we've been hearing too.
Yeah, and the Biden administration believes that Barack Obama is behind this. That's what he told Joe Scarborough, that he's nudging people here and there. Do you believe that? What was my question? Son of a bitch.
Going to use Michelle or something, or get back?
No, not Michelle. Do you think that Barack could convince him to drop out rather than, because really, you're right. It's up to Joe Biden. He makes the choice unless he's
got the delegates. They can't take the delegates away from him, at least on one ballot. I don't know what the rules are for their convention after the first
unless
ballot.
they 25th Amendment him.
They can't do that. They're never going to do that. His cabinet members, I don't think en masse. In fact, I'm not sure what the vote has to be in the cabinet. It has to be unanimous, I wonder?
I think so.
I'll bet you it does. I can't imagine that all the cabinet members would vote to do it because they know Carmela would be therefore the first female president of the United States of America. Dear God.
Would Barack Obama have told whoever the shadow government is, I'm sure he's part of it, that we're doing this press conference to push him out there on purpose to kind of send him out to the gallows?
I kind of believe that. Yeah. I think and by the way, I think two things. I think that's absolutely true because I think they know that, which I believe is that I think President Scumbag thinks he's a great leader. I think he really thinks he can pull this off. He can do it. He's going to go out there with confidence. He's going to start screaming and yelling and stuff, and taking on the press, and it's going to be a freaking disaster. And I think they're letting him do it. I think they're making him do it to show to the world, okay, that's it. I think this is good. Now, I could be way wrong. They may pump him up with so many amphetamines that he comes out and barnstorms and remembers everything he's ever forgotten before. I can't believe it. If the media if they go after him, this is going to be the greatest news conference ever in the history of broadcasting. Seriously,
I agree.
It's unbelievable.
So, if it's a total bomb and it shocks the world to see whatever happens there. Is it your opinion that, because if he's that way now, I'm of the opinion that he resign now immediately, and because if he's like that now, why do we want him with his finger on the button for the next 4 months?
My guess is if it really goes bad, if it's like the debate, even worse because they start piling on. And that's the other thing on the debate. It was the moderators they didn't do many follow-ups. They didn't attack him, and they just kind of did that stuff. But on a news conference where they can keep peppering him, I really think they can drive him nuts. And if they do, then I think this being Thursday, I will bet you that over the weekend they would have the final meeting, and that sometime over the weekend they would announce that he's not going to be on the ticket if it goes bad.
Republicans are trying to get her to release a transcript. They're fining him several $1,000s a day until he does it, blah, blah, blah. When are we going to see the Democrats who want Biden gone also want it released so they can use it against him?
And the other thing was, too, I heard someone say the conspiracy theory is also that the Democrats have some stuff in their pocket. And what they have in their pocket is all the stuff that has been gone by the wayside concerning all those foreign payments from foreign governments. And you know that there are Democrats who have been in on the shenanigans from the very beginning, probably helped them set up the offshore accounts or whatever it is. You know that there are Democrats who are alive right now and in power positions right now who could send him to prison. And I guarantee you, I can't guarantee you, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those people who are in on the inside and know will go to him and say, okay, Joe, I know you don't want to leave, but if you don't, we're going to do this. And then not only are you going to be out not running, you're going to be on trial. And I think that would be the final thing. But I think Putty Tat's the one who can convince him, give it up. And secondly, if that doesn't work, then I think that some inside Democrats are going to say, we'll release information that'll ruin you forever. And I don't think Dr. Jill would allow that. The cuckold queen would allow that to happen, to ruin her reputation as the slimy, sleazy cuckold queen.
I've read a story about how some progressives are enraged that some Democrats have the gall to admit that Trump
privately,
that Trump will win, and democracy will be just fine.
In fact,
how dare you?
I got a couple of Times columnist Ezra Klein said, I've had Democrats say to me basically like, I don't know why all these Democrats who think Donald Trump is an existential threat to democracy are acting the way they are. The reason I'm acting the way is because I don't think that. He says, well, what are you talking about? What are your sources? I find it maddening, but I do find it consistent. And he says, you're driving me nuts here. The guy says, Democrats in secret don't think Donald Trump's a danger to the country, but they have to say it. And by the way, we had Neal Boortz on earlier today, and as he left, he said, I hope you guys aren't using the word existential threat to democracy. I never used that word in my life until politics made us use it like a year ago or something with Donald Trump. It's like, what's the word where you don't know what your gender is?
Non-binary?
Non-binary. Yeah. I never used that phrase in my life until all of a sudden the Democrats make it part of the freaking platform.
Right.
We got to be non-binary concerned now. I mean, no one's ever used those words. Existential threat, my ass. I don't know what that means. That's a literary thing from the writer named Proust. Please, you're killing me.
You guys read the story where the Rolling Stones no longer sing the line in Sympathy for the Devil. They no longer sing I shouted out who killed the Kennedys. They don't say that anymore.
I did not see that.
A guy went with his wife to see them, and he said, we missed it. Then he called his friends, and he found tons of tape. They haven't been saying it in the last 8 or 10 gigs they had. And in Europe,
we just did that musical buzzing thing again. Hold on. Hold on.
It's the end.
Still buzzing.
He's using auto-tune.
Okay, well, we are giving up. By the way, while we're making sure our signal's good, we're still okay. I did see a thing just popped in the news. Apparently, Mick Jagger is making more comments about the fact that he was nailing Justin Trudeau's mother.
Who was it?
And in fact, the word was, and it came out. It was a concert, and Mick Jagger was saying something like, I'd like to thank, it was in Canada, he said, I'd like to thank Premier Justin Trudeau, and the crowd booed him. And he's
in Vancouver,
and the crowd booed him, and he said, oh, no. I said, well, a lot of the people in Vancouver really love the Rolling Stones, and apparently the word came out that he had told people, and other people knew this who were inside with the Stones, knew that, was it Margaret Trudeau, what's her name? Margaret Trudeau banged every one of the Rolling Stones. Every one of them. And of course, I know that Justin Trudeau was Fidel Castro's son anyway. So
what a whore.
Yeah, exactly. And she would bang.
She
was also banging Jerry Rivers, Geraldo Rivera. Wasn't she pommeling him in the boat on Lake and the New York freaking Central Park? I think she farkalukalated that guy in a freaking boat in Central Park, for God's sakes.
She must be quite the looker.
She was, I guess, 50 years ago.
She was all right.
Well, she's a girl. Come on, you're killing me.
Easy.
Bring her around.
What happens if Biden somehow pulls the State of the Union power and aces this? I don't think he will.
Then I think. Then I think it'd be easy for them. Then the Democrats say, "Well, boy, he was great, so problem solved, and let's go on with it." I think they're begging and hoping that he doesn't make a complete fool of himself.
Or they're begging and hoping that he sinks his
or that he does make it one way or the other.
Not in the middle.
Yeah, I think this is the ball game right here.
I've never been so excited to watch the president.
We keep thinking, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to think. I'm an educated man, and I don't know squat. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what their options are. I mean, think about it. What if they can't take Carmelo off the ticket?
Right.
So I mean, they're screwed no matter what.
Let's get the drinking game going. How many times does he say no joke?
No joke.
How many times does he call somebody pal?
Yeah.
But seriously,
Jack. He's going to say, and by the way, when he can't think of what he's thinking of, he'll later he'll be talking and say, and by the way, and when he thinks of the thing he thought of finally, and by the way, he'll say that a lot. He said that a lot the last time I saw him.
That's a great idea. I need to go to the liquor store. Boys, it's always good.
Shannon, hang in there, my friend. Congratulations on back on the radio down there, too. I'm very happy for it. Keep in touch, and we'll next week, and we'll have fun and whatever you want to do, man. Looking forward. Thanks. Have a good one. Shannon Burke right there. 520. Kim Pete and the Flounder. Now, you want to do a thing? I'll go right into it now. Oh, my goodness. The 5 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends at Lee Branch Jewelers, where luxury watches and jewelry are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrant.com. 5:20 on the clock, and holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Braves fell a little short in the desert last night. They were down 5-3 in the top of the 8th when All-Star Marcell Ozuna strode to the plate.
Runner at third, one down, 0-1 pitch. Swung on and torched to deep center field. Flying way on back. That's heading to the wall and out of the ballpark. Marcell Ozuna laying down the law here in Arizona. And it's a tied ball game here in the 8th inning.
You're under arrest, mister.
Ben Ingram, a 680 to the fan. I love that call. But Joe Jimenez could not hold the tie, and the Diamondbacks won 7-5. Joe took the loss. He's 1-3. Charlie Morton started, went 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs with 5 strikeouts. Unfortunately, as he said it, he made 2 bad pitches that left the ballpark. Travis d'Arnaud had 2 RBIs. Matt Olson had 1. Braves can still take the series 3-1 with a win tonight. The 7-4 Max Fried against the 3-6 right-hander Brandon Pfaadt for Arizona. P-F-A-A-D-T. How the blank do you pronounce it? Pfaadt. Let's not go, Brandon.
No,
let's not.
Here we go.
Meanwhile, Pirates rookie phenom Paul Skeens had a no-hitter going through 7 innings in Milwaukee this afternoon, throwing only 99 pitches.
Wow.
So, of course, his manager pulled him from the game.
Oh, you got to be kidding. Were you worried about his young arm? He's 20.
The reliever immediately gave up 2 hits as Pittsburgh blanked the Brewers 1-0. Only one other pitcher in Major League history has multiple starts in one season of 6 or more innings with 11 or more strikeouts while allowing no hits. Name that other pitcher.
Nolan Ryan.
Really?
I was going to either.
Nolan Ryan.
Man.
And in both of those instances, Ryan finished the no-hitter. Because we were much tougher men back then, and also Nolan Ryan knew how to pace himself and didn't blow his elbow out until he was well over 40 years old, and he didn't have teams and coaches telling him from high school he needs to throw as hard as he can for as long as he can, and then we'll put somebody else in, because that's what's blowing. And I think it's such a great mystery. They're throwing 110% every single time out there, and they're blowing their arms out because your arm can't do that. They don't pitch, they're throwing.
And they're also, now remember, these guys who are having this are in their 20s and maybe 30, 31 years old.
Yes, minor league.
So when they were playing Little League and their age, they were allowed to be throwing screwballs and curves in Little League. We were never allowed to even pretend to throw a curve in Little League. Nope. You would be put on the bench so fast they would call your family and say, don't ever let them do that again. They were worried about your young arms at that stage. Oh, my God. But these guys are growing. And by the way, they also play baseball all year. We never played baseball all year. We
and they don't play other sports.
Yeah.
They need to play other sports.
Other sports for the muscle,
body
for the acuity of the muscles. And absolutely.
We now know what killed former Major Leaguer Sean Burroughs. He suffered fentanyl intoxication when he died in the parking lot at a Long Beach, California baseball field back in May. That's the L.A. County Medical Examiner saying it. The Atlanta-born Burroughs' death has been ruled an accident. He died at the age of 43, found unconscious next to his car after dropping his son off for a Little League game. CPR performed, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Burroughs, a 2-time winner of the Little League World Series and a 2000 Olympic gold medalist for America. He was drafted in the first round by the Padres in '98 and had the first walk-off hit for the Pods in Petco Park history back in '04. But he was out of baseball by '07 and then returned from 2011 to 12. Burroughs had told ESPN in an interview about 13 years ago that he was a substance abuser, but he turned his life around. He also played for Tampa Bay, the D-backs, and the Twins. And Sean was the former and son of former Braves and Rangers right fielder Jeff Burroughs, the former MVP of the American League.
I'll be damned. I didn't know that. That's
Two more Georgia football players have been arrested. or as they say in Athens, it's Thursday. Linebacker Smale Mondon and offensive lineman Bo Hughley are facing reckless driving charges, separate incidents. Mondon was arrested yesterday on misdemeanor charges of racing on the highway streets.
Oh, boy.
Hughley arrested Tuesday, for reckless driving and failure to maintain the proper lane. All this comes after big-time transfer running back Trevor Etienne has accepted a plea deal in which his DUI charges were dismissed. He pleaded no contest to reckless driving and underage possession of alcohol and all kinds of other stuff. George is now at 4 off-season arrests, already tying last year's record, and it's still just July. And that's not counting the 2 players who died in the car crash in January of 2023. Yeah. So you got to wonder if Kirby Smart will talk about this during SEC Media Days in Dallas next week. So we'll see.
Well, it's not like they don't know that you can't go speeding and reckless driving around, especially around both in Athens.
Yeah, over there.
I mean, how could a football player?
The rules don't apply to these guys. They just don't apply.
Whatever. Then screw them.
We all know Florida State and Clemson, they're not happy in the ACC. It's like the Bidens at an Obama family reunion these days. Now comes word that the Seminoles and Tigers have had preliminary talks about joining the Big 12 Conference.
Oh, my God. What are they doing? How can follow any of this?
Money. The NCAA is now 0 for 432 in court, as college athletes whose efforts primarily benefit their schools may qualify as employees deserving of pay under federal wage and hour laws.
Oh, my God.
That's what a U.S. appeals court in Philadelphia ruled today. The court, in the latest challenge to the NCAA's long-held notion of amateurism in college sports, said a test should be developed to differentiate between the students who play college sports for fun and those whose effort crosses the legal line into work. I got your test for you right here. If the player drives up in a Porsche or other sports car or a giant SUV, he's the employee.
Yeah, he's working
if
for
they come up in a Prius, they're the amateur.
I mean, good Lord.
Bill Belichick has gotten off his rump.
Yes.
It is taking yet another broadcasting job.
Yeah.
The CW network says Bimbo Bonking Bill will be an analyst on their show Inside the NFL. That's not the only thing he's been.
Yeah, hey.
He's already part of the Manning Cast and the Pat McAfee show on ESPN.
Yeah.
With all that work, I hope the 72-year-old Belichick gets enough exercise to keep his energy up.
Oh, I think his 23-year-old girlfriend might be able to take him jogging.
And we all know Latin Americans are very passionate about their football.
Ah, yes.
We found out how much up in Charlotte last night after Colombia shut out Uruguay 1-0. The Colombians taunted the losing team on the field before the Uruguayan players had enough and entered the stands and began fighting with the Colombian fans. Now imagine the carnage that would have ensued if they were allowed to use their hands.
Oh, hey.
Hey. All right, Team USA easily bested Team Canada last night in Vegas in a warm-up to the Paris Olympics. Atlantan Anthony Edwards led with 13 points off the bench, former Georgia player.
Excellent.
And guess who will introduce President Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention next week?
His son?
Think sports.
Well, God.
Dana White?
Dana White.
Really? No, great guest, Flounder. No kidding. Outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
On this day, July 11th, 1976, a pregame promotion at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. 34 couples were married at home plate. The nuptials are followed by championship wrestling, and an evening billed as headlocks and wedlocks. The Braves beat the Mets 9-8. Just another brainstorm from Ted Turner. Genius.
Yes, indeed. Those were the days, all right.
Yeah, they loved it. In 2000, Chipper Jones had 3 hits and a homer in the All-Star game at Turner Field, but the National League lost anyway. 1914, Babe Ruth made his debut with the Red Sox, pitching them to a win. 1916, Ruth also started both games of a doubleheader as the Bo Sox swept the White Sox. Ruth lasted just a third of an inning in the opener. He started because Rube Foster, the other pitcher, needed more time to warm up. So he finished that thing, and then he came out and did a complete game in the nightcap.
Good grief.
And won an All-Star game in 1950. Ted Williams made a leaping catch at the wall and got a fractured elbow for his courage. He stays in the game and puts the AL ahead 3-2 with an RBI single. Ralph Kiner tied the game with a 9th-inning homer. Then Red Schoendienst won it in the 14th.
Oh, my God. Red Schoendienst. I haven't heard that name in 50 years, I'll bet you.
Cardinal and Brave.
Holy cow.
1973, Willie Stargell passed Kiner as the Pirates' all-time home run leader, 302 career blast, and a win over the Padres. 1985, Nolan Ryan became became the first pitcher to record 4,000 strikeouts in a win over the Mets.
Well, you've taken two of my history lists here today.
There's always a win over the Mets involving something here.
Yes.
And Flounder, get ready. 1987, Billy Ripken joined Cal Ripken Jr. in the Orioles starting lineup in a loss to the Twins, as Cal Ripken Sr. is the first to manage his two sons in the major leagues.
It's a family affair.
That's production value you don't get anywhere else.
You just don't get that anywhere else.
In their sport.
You mentioned the Nolan Ryan thing as the guy who set the strong arm guy in a way it was before, and then you mentioned his 4,000 strikeouts. The other thing about Nolan Ryan involves also on this day in history, in 1987, Bo Jackson signed a 5-year deal when he was with the Kansas City Royals to become a two-sport star by playing with the Los Angeles Raiders. He was an all-star in both sports, and Nike started their entire Bo Knows ad campaign around him, and the Bo Knows thing led to me at a charity auction buying a great big framed picture signed, and it's of Nolan Ryan with a bloody nose, and it says Nolan Knows Bo, and it's signed by Bo Knows Nolan or Nolan Knows Bo with this bloody nose of an autographed picture of Nolan Ryan with the Bo Jackson thing on it to it, and that's my.
You still got that?
I still have, absolutely. It's a great big one. It's like a 3-4 foot big giant wall hanging thing. Anyway, 5:31, Flounder and Kimmer Pete, and we got Flounder's Funnies coming up, and we got it all, tweets and all kinds of a lot of great sound on the politics. Next, Kimmer Pete and Flounder.
Somebody you just love to burn. Mom love.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
All right, look out now. Speaking of conservative voices, Jeff and Mark and the gang at Atlanta Safe House, home of the Kimmer Safes. And I love these guys because not only do they have a great company, I mean, they've been doing this for decades and decades. They have a showroom in Ackworth, by the way, Atlanta Safe House. But this is a non-woke company. There was a story happened some time ago where a different company, brand company, gave away and gave to somebody who didn't deserve it the Safe's master reset code for somebody. They will never do that at Atlanta Safe House. And if you have an issue with something like that, believe me, they'll take care of it for you. Atlanta Safe House, Jeff and Mark, the whole crew, they've been delivering safes like they did to me. You can bolt them from the inside right into a concrete floor in your basement or garage or whatever. They have high security safes and pistol safes. In fact, go on the web, atlantasafehouse.com, and see these things are beautiful and very handy and safe and secure, and they have obviously a great purpose. And the big gun safes, and when I say that, and they have all the top brands, obviously, they're pretty much always on sale, by the way. And the big gun safes, it doesn't mean they aren't just great big, empty, hollow, big, giant safe. They have nooks and crannies and shelving units and whatever you want. They can design anything you think you can use that for. They can take care of it for you. Home of the Kimmer Safes. And when I didn't have any safes down in Florida, lost my medical records. I've told you the nightmare about that. VA says, don't bother us. Thank you. And my Social Security card. Now my kids know where to find my medical records and my dental records, in case you know the thing. And Social Security, all that stuff in the safe. Your living will, your medical, your marriage and divorce papers, all that stuff. They can build you a family storm shelter. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. Check them out. atlantasafehouse.com.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
No one
plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. At A Second Chance Bail Bonds, we believe everyone deserves a second chance. We handle bonds from local to federal for any jail in any city. And in most cases, we can have you or your loved one out of jail in a matter of hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
You know, it just hit me. A lot of people think that Rough Greens is dog food. Not at all. Rough Greens is a dog supplement. Greetings. I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, founder of Rough Greens, and you may already know this, but dog food is dead food. And Rough Greens is what our furry family members desperately want and need nutritionally to rebuild their immune system so they can feel better and live longer. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just sprinkle on some Rough Greens with the live vitamins, minerals, probiotics, digestive enzymes, omega oils, tons of antioxidants, all to help with their low energy, achy joints, bad breath, and all the other problems they have. So yes, my dogs and I are still offering a free Jumpstart trial bag, so your dog can try it. All you got to do is cover the shipping. Hey, it's an easy, smart way to help your furry friend feel better and live longer. A free Jumpstart trial bag can be at your door within a few business days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com.
It is so important to prepare in case of any emergency, and there's one place you can do that, and that's True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. But before you get into preparing, you need to know everything that goes into preparing. That's why they have all these great classes. They always have an intro to emergency preparedness class. What about a bug out bag? Make sure that you go to their class on that. And also, don't forget, they also do blood drives, everything else. It's your one-stop shop for preparedness. True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway, or online, trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
Very funny. Caribbean flounder. Okay, here's the deal. 5:36. We're coming out, and Flounder in my earpiece says, Three Dog Night. And I said, okay. And so I look at my music sheet. Next up, I got Fleetwood Mac, I got Randy Newman, I got David Bowie, and I got the Beatles. I don't have Three Dog Night. And he says, Mama told me not to come. So we're singing. And the reason he said Three Dog Night is because on this day in 1970, Three Dog Night started a 2-week run at #1 in America with their version of the Randy Newman song, Mama Told Me Not to Come. I had no idea he did that song. And I think Randy Newman is great. I think he's just
wonderful.
He's a terrific thing. You know, it really has a whole thing going. It was a #3 hit in Britain, Mama Told Me Not to Come. The song was first covered by Eric Burton on his first solo album in 1966, and it gave Tom Jones and the Stereophonics a #4 hit in Britain in 2000. Mama Told Me Not to Come from Randy Newman. I had no idea. We have a musical birthday today. In fact, 74 years ago, the guy who can do this was born. Now, Flounder, if you will. Bruce McGill, 74 years old, D-Day in Animal House, playing his throat. I can't do that. Can you do it?
No.
How do you do it? I mean, I've tried. You can't make it. How do you get the sound? You can't just hit your Adam's apple.
I don't know.
I don't know how the hell he did that. And he said to this day, if he's walking around, if he's, walks into a bar, Bill, it's like Norm and Cheers. I mean, it's just, D-Day, riding his motorcycle up the freaking stairs. He was also in My Cousin Vinny was the sheriff, but he's been in a million TV shows.
He was playing
judges on Law and Order. I mean, he's done everything.
Justified, I believe.
Bruce McGill, 74 years old, and just a terrific actor and quite a character. Apparently, just a really good character. Oh, and I got a kind of a historical thing for you, which I found interesting. So I did a little extra Googling, if you don't mind. Hold on, I got to get my frog here. No, I won't take it. That won't take it long. 1999, the woman stranded at the South Pole who had to treat herself for cancer. It started with an Air Force jet dropping some supply. Oops, a daisy. Hold on, my phone just left me here. Dropping some supplies to Dr. Jerry Nielsen Fitzgerald, the physician who was the only physician at an isolated South Pole research station when she was diagnosed and treated her own breast cancer before a daring rescue. She was newly divorced, wanted to shake up her life. She was an Ohio emergency room doctor, wanted to spend the polar winter providing medical care to 40 scientists and construction workers who were there. In March of that year, she found a small lump in her breast. It was weeks after the last flight of the winter. Nobody can get there. It's a remote outpost. The temperatures were not warm enough to even for a plane to land. That's how cold the South Pole was, Antarctica. She said, I thought it was dead. I was cooked. I got breast cancer, a lump in my breast. They said, you're going to have to wait for months until the research station's safe to go again. The mess kept growing. By early June, she was training her unorthodox, largely male medical team, which included a carpenter and a mechanic. Using ice and a local anesthetic, she performed her own biopsy with the help of a welder who practiced by sticking needles into an apple and a shriveled yam. They had slides of the tissue she took transmitted to specialists over a video link. They were inconclusive. Doctors said you need chemotherapy and drugs and medical equipment. The only way they could deliver them was through a rare and dangerous midwinter drop. So the Air Force did that on a field lit only by a fire. Her tumor shrank. It grew again. By September, the doctor said, you've got to get her out of there. She didn't want to leave the frozen frontier. This is what is so sad. After the bitter divorce that gave her husband custody of their 3 children, she said, my colleagues are my family now. I was so happy there. She said, I figured I was going to die anyway. I'd rather stay in my perfect home. The people are what make a home. I learned about community. I learned about friendship. What an important thing to find out, even if it's the last year of your life. Well, the Air National Guard conducted a dangerous mission, evacuated her 60 below zero temperatures. She was dropped off with another doctor, had multiple surgeries, mastectomy, went into remission, but then it came back again. And she married another guy, a classmate that she had known 20 years ago. And turns out that she eventually did pass away, and she was only in her 50s when it got her. But she had to treat herself on the South Pole. And what a weird story, the whole thing, 1999.
That should be a movie. It really should.
I know. It was, and it was a daring, I mean, everything about it was just risky. And it can mention her being the only doctor, and it's 40 guys, construction workers and, technicians and stuff.
Well, why has that not been made into a damn movie?
I don't know. It's a hell of a story. 542. Flounder, let's play a little soundbite stuff. How about cut number 4? Started off this morning, the morning show, the home wreckers, what's her name, Joe Scarborough and Mika were saying that Obama had his fingers all over that letter that George Clooney wrote about Biden getting out of the race. Number 4.
In response to those comments from George Clooney, Jake, a campaign official.
Oh, sorry, I think that was.
Let's say one thing that we do have to underline here, just so viewers can follow what's going on behind the scenes, is the Biden campaign and many Democratic officials do believe that Barack Obama is quietly working behind the scenes to orchestrate this.
And his home-wrecking wife, Mika, also said Barack Obama has a lot of influence, and there's a lot there. And then they started going mamby-pamby. If you heard the interview actually live or even on tape later, they refused to actually say it out loud. But clearly, that's the story. And now, the other thing about George Clooney, let's do the Dave Portnoy cut here, if you don't mind, Flounder. Cut number 2, saying, what? Oh, so now you're a big shot, George, because you're coming out to know what everybody else knows finally and saying it out loud?
George Clooney. What a hero this guy is, huh? Comes forward today. Now, this guy, Clooney, threw a fundraiser, raised tens of millions, co-chair for Biden 3 weeks ago. Today comes out, he's like, guess what? The guy you saw in the debate, that vegetable, that's Biden. He's a vegetable. He was a vegetable 3 weeks ago. Acting like he's doing some heroic thing like we can't have a vegetable run for president, not in this country. You just found out Biden was a vegetable 3 weeks ago? Where have you been for 2 years? Everyone knows he's a vegetable. The guy can't get on and off a stage without getting lost. He talks about dead people like he had lunch with them yesterday. He can't ride his bike without falling down. He can't get up and down Air Force One without taking a tumble. No, he's a vegetable. He's been a vegetable for 2 years. Democrats don't care. And also, side note, if I know he's a vegetable, if Miss Peaches knows he's a vegetable, if Clooney knows he's a vegetable, if the Obamas know he's a vegetable, if everyone in the world knows Joe Biden is a vegetable, why did he do that debate? Because the Democrats want to show the world that they have no choice but to whack him. You have the good-looking guy from California, Gavin Newsom, waiting. It's all dirty politics. But it. The Democrats were fine for the last year and a half, 2 years, putting a vegetable in her face. They're fine with doing a fundraiser 3 weeks ago for a vegetable. So it. Let's just have Trump run versus a head of lettuce. Honestly, the votes will probably be the same because people who voted for Biden or were voting, they hate Trump. It's not a pro-vegetable vote. It's we hate Trump and won't vote for Trump. So we're voting for a head of lettuce.
Yeah, well, Whoopi Goldberg said she'd vote for him if he pooped his pants in front of God and everybody. If he was a cadaver, they say they'd vote for him.
I know. The party is more important than their country. They've just completely exposed themselves as Marxists and communists.
Yeah, absolutely. And they did it again very quickly. Last night, the House of Representatives voted to pass the bill to demand that if you're going to vote in a federal election, you have to be an American citizen. Ta-da! How controversial is that? Federal election, be an American citizen and be able to prove it. 198 Democrats voted in favor of allowing illegal immigrants to vote in federal elections. They voted against it. 198 Democrats. No, we want the illegals to be able to vote. Well, they just admitted it. 546, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. Flounder's Funny's coming up. Plus more.
One of the biggest elections of our lifetime, and it's never been more important to get the news you need without the bias.
The Democrats have to replace Joe Biden, or they know they cannot win this election.
Trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the breaking news and latest changes without the spin.
That's what I mean by fixed election. There's no chance if the media and the Department of Justice and social media are all against you.
This is Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Who says you have to wait until December to celebrate Christmas? Hi, I'm Jaron Solomon. Right now at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we're celebrating Christmas in July in all of our locations in Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Sharpsburg. Stop in today and enjoy our 12 days of deals on everything in our stores. Surprise your special someone with a beautiful diamond tennis bracelet, earrings, ring, or necklace. And to make your purchase even easier, Solomon Brothers Jewelers is offering up to 60 months interest-free financing. That's 5 years to pay for that special gift, interest-free. And while you're at it, why not break out the tree, string up the lights, and pour yourself some eggnog? Make this a Christmas to remember with our 12 days of deals. Don't wait until December. Find some of the biggest savings of the year at Solomon Brothers Jewelers during our Christmas in July event. Visit us on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, and Fisher Road in Sharpsburg, and online at SolomonBrothers.com. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, now the preferred jeweler of the Atlanta Braves.
When you're leaving the house, do you plead with your garage door? Please open, please open. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Let us take that anxiety away with one quick call. Our highly trained technicians will get to the bottom of your garage door issues. It could be a simple repair, a malfunctioning opener, or maybe just needs a tune-up. But if it's time for your garage door to be replaced, we'll make that easy too with upfront pricing and free estimates. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, Seasons Garages.com.
When your equipment breaks down, stop by Howard Brothers for all of your parts needs. They've got your supply of Kawasaki filters, belts, blades, and everything else you need to keep your equipment in top shape. At Howard Brothers, they will ensure you get exactly what you need. Whether you're powering up a lawnmower, string trimmer, or a tiller, you can trust they have the right parts and the best service around. And Kawasaki engines deliver the power and performance that Howard Brothers customers demand. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Kawasaki and Howard Brothers.
It's that time of year again when the owner of Central Heating and Air Conditioning, Chuck, brings back the 4th annual Christmas in July benefiting Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Hey, it's Tug for Central Heating and Air Conditioning. If you want to help give back to the community, all you have to do is sign up for a maintenance agreement with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, and $10 from every new maintenance agreement will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. The more maintenance agreements you sign up for, the bigger and better we can make the 4th annual Christmas in July for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Central services all makes and models. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and they've serviced over 100,000 customers right here in Atlanta. So call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com to sign up for a maintenance agreement and help Chuck and Central Heating and Air give back to the community. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPsETC.com. There are crazies on the road. Who knows where they're all going, but if one of them hits you, don't take care of it on your own. Call my friend David Van Sant. He is the lawyer that used to work for the insurance company. The team at Van Sant Law knows who to call, what to say, and will make sure you get what you deserve and what the insurance company doesn't want to pay for. They have your best interest at heart and will take care of everything. If you don't get paid, they don't get paid. My advice, save Van Sant Law in your phone. Today, 855-GA-INJURY, vansantlaw.com.
It's been a hard day.
Oh, my God. Wait till you hear what's coming up. Oh, my God. Flounders efforting to get the something right. I love the word efforting. 5:51 with the Beatles, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. The Beatles live on the ABC TV show Lucky Stars in the summertime on this day, 1964. They did A Hard Day's Night, Long Tall Sally, Things We Said Today. You can't do that. To avoid the crowd of fans waiting, the Beatles arrived at the Teddington studio by boat, traveling down the River Thames. Well, that's pretty smart. Let's see, a couple things, quick birthday type stuff here. Do you ever watch Jeff Corwin? I know the name, I've never seen. He's 57. He's the wildlife experience guy. Mm-hmm. And I think he's pretty well respected. I don't know anything about him, but I think he's a very popular guy. Birthdays include Suzanne Vega, the hit Luca. And Tom's Diner, Suzanne Vega's 65 today. And a quick historical note, this day, 1955, President Eisenhower signed a bill requiring the phrase, "In God We Trust," be printed on all paper currency. Can you imagine if a president of the United States today said, by God, we need to print "In God We Trust" on whatever, envelopes or coin? I mean, can you imagine? Holy smokes. That was 1955. America thought it was a great idea to believe in God we trust. Anyway, and one more quick thing here. No, let's do that. I forgot to give away tickets. Okay, here's our number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We have 2 tickets to go in person to see the 2024 Brickyard 400 race on Sunday, July 21st at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, you got to get there on your own, and it's up to you to get there and whatever, but we have 2 tickets. If you want to go see the Brickyard 400 Sunday, July 21st, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 2 tickets, get there on your own, and our number 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And 2 tickets for you. So
all right, so Biden was just introducing Zelensky at the NATO.
This is the NATO meeting in Washington. Later tonight, the news conference.
Listen to what he says.
Oh, my God.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
President Putin.
Oh, my God.
If that doesn't solidify that he can't...
It's over.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's like introducing Winston Churchill in World War II and saying, and now, here's Adolf Hitler.
Adolf, my buddy. Okay, play it. We got to play this again, maybe a couple of times. Honest to God, this is unbelievable. This is the end. That was the ball game right there. That's the ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's over. I'm sorry. Flounder, go ahead, please.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
President Putin. Oh, my God. He's going to have to cancel that news conference. What do you think the first question is going to be?
I want to see the room of Democratic operatives watching when he said that.
I hope to God that now we have the sound. I hope it's got to be video somewhere. And I'm watching Channel 5 Fox right now, and they're still doing the 5. They haven't broken in for anything. Holy crap! That's it. That's a ball game. It's over.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
There's no way they can spin this because he starts by saying the president of Ukraine.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, how are they going to...
I want to see the reaction from people live when they saw that.
There's got to be coverage of all this. I mean, the 5 doesn't even know it yet. They're still talking about the threat to democracy and stuff like that. Holy smokes.
Yeah, they said he can't possibly screw this up anymore. Biden, hold my beer.
President Putin? Oh, my God.
And Putin's probably just going nuts.
Oh, it's over. Well, that's every one of the campaign commercials, and they're not going to need him. He's going to quit. He's going to have to drop out.
We need to play that song that the girls and boys sung at the Sound of Music. Goodbye.
Farewell.
Leaders saying goodbye.
Oh, my God. I mean, honestly, that's just hard to believe. Seriously. Obviously, there was not a teleprompter. He was probably looking at notes.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that, Flounder?
Is there a story behind it?
No, it just actually, Scotty called me and said we had to play it, so I went on to Twitter and found it, and I just found it on Libs of TikTok.
Holy smokes.
Well, Libs of TikTok's pretty reliable, so...
Well,
it's a video. It's a video. So that's a video. I mean, you can...
I wish there were a reaction to the crowd or him.
Oh, my God, it's on YouTube.
I see. I don't have anything in front of me. Oh, my God. It's over. What are they saying? What are they saying?
Wait a minute here. Was this last year or today? Well, he called him Vladimir last year. On July 13th of 2023, he confused Zelensky and Putin, and he called Zelensky Vladimir. So
a year ago.
Twice. A year ago.
And now,
almost to the day.
A year later, almost to the day, he calls him Putin. So this was from today at the hearing at the
Again, I'm just looking at...
Oh, my God. Well, either way, it doesn't matter when he said it. He said it. He called Zelensky Putin.
All so far that's coming up on Google is last year's. So it may be so fresh.
Again, if he said Zelensky, if he said Vladimir last year, and this year this time he said Putin.
Let's see what's trending here.
What are they saying? Are they saying any reaction on...
All right, Bill.
What's that? No, we're still
Sorry about that. I was talking to our winner, Bill.
Oh, okay. Bill, our winner. Take us to Indianapolis. Have great fun out there, Bill. Thank you for listening and calling. Yes, sir.
It's not trending yet.
Well, and I wonder if that's from the past.
Twitter.
Either way, it doesn't matter. He still called the guy we're giving our billions of dollars to. He called him by the president of Russia. Doesn't matter when he did it. In fact, that's even more. What?
End Wokeness just has it now saying he called him President Putin.
Good Lord.
It's real.
It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 5:57:39 on July 11th.
On this Thursday,
you're calling
July.
You're calling the race right now.
I'd like to announce the winner.
The polls haven't even opened, much less closed.
Okay, now what's the over and under on when he says, I'm out, or when they say he's out?
Well, okay,
or willing.
Juanita Broderick just put out a good point. She says a lot of people are saying that he's behind the scenes negotiating some kind of deal so his family keeps getting paid or gets some payout before he steps aside. He's making sure everybody's still going to get theirs before he steps aside.
I'm sure that's true. You know they've had. I'm sure that's where Putty Tack comes in because he's got the hundreds of millions of dollars like the Clinton Crime Foundation.
You're going to take care of us.
Yeah.
You're going to take care of us.
Again, Flounder, just one more time for the fun of it. This just happened today at the NATO meeting. Our president crime family, Washer daughter, said this, introducing one of his special guests.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
President Putin. It's over.
And he walks, he says, he didn't realize he said it. It's like, I shouldn't have said that. He immediately turns and walks away from the podium. Like, he's so cocksure of himself that he said the right thing.
Is there any reaction that you could tell from the video that you're looking on YouTube or whatever?
It's so short.
Yeah.
The guy behind him, you can't see his face.
I got there's a lengthier one, so listen to this right here.
Here we go.
Says he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky.
Oh, he came back.
I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a...
Oh, my God.
He immediately came back to the podium.
Oh, my God. Oh, I can't believe we got a look. We should stay another hour. I can't wait for that news conference. Oh, you're on trial, media. It was only the Kivers. Sing Me Home, Christine, with Pete Davis and Flounder. Let Her Rip Friday tomorrow. Oh, boy, here we go. I can't wait to watch this tonight.
Start your day the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Every morning from 6 to 10 a.m. on WFOM Marietta, Extra 106.3.